Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Giant... You know, when we do this virtually,
so bad.
I can
have a mic. It's fine.
No, but
it's people will still hear it.
What's wrong with
Because he doesn't have a mic doesn't mean people won't hear
Ambiance.
it.
We're in person. There's a dog here. You gotta show what we're working with here.
Right. Okay. So for the audio listeners, hey, we're recording in person. Hi.
I'll get the duct tape and take care of Dan.
Episode 788 of the Giant Bombcast.
No treat for you.
I'm your host, Jan Ochoa, and I thought I'd gather everyone today to just eat a bunch of desserts. Yeah. Eat a bunch of desserts. Just have a good time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Can I before I introduce everyone, you know something that I've noticed that someone told me? Like they sat me down and was like, Jan, this is a problem you have. And I was like, what? And they told me, you don't active listen. You dip out when you're not talking. You need to be more engaged. And I was like, yo, dog, it's because I've been working for 3 years over Zoom. So I'm not always going to be looking people in the face. All right? Co-captain the ship, as always, Jeff Grubb.
That's right. I also don't active listen. I have got things on my computer, like video games and Twitter.
Fantastic.
I'm going to look at those instead. Hey, look at that.
We got the big dog himself, Dan Reichert.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey.
Oh,
You hear like the literal worry in his voice, right?
No, it's having fun.
No, he's doing that because
He's breathing
like,
heavy.
Yeah, he's doing that. I swear, if you give my dog a heart attack, he's an old man.
I don't want to scare her.
We got Marty's father, man of the house himself, master of the house,
Master of the house.
Jeff Bakalar.
Hello. This I think today's going to be one of the more technically
Impressive.
podcasts.
We got multicolored like XLRs. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a big step.
Yeah.
And I don't really say this a lot, but
Okay.
First of all, I'm so glad you guys are here. I love you all very much. This has been a great couple of days.
Thanks, man.
And thank you, Jan, for all your hard work doing the setup and whatnot.
I love plugging cables in.
It's a big plugger. And no, I was gonna say I really don't love remote podcasting. It's just a necessary evil. Sure,
Yeah.
it's just a necessary evil that we have
Hey,
to.
we're good
kinda-
at it, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Totally. And I think it'll be interesting this show because we are in person for the first time. Doing a Bombcast
this collection
like this.
of people
This
doing
collection
a
of people
You
podcast.
pick 4 people?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Five. Sorry, Marty.
right.
Hey.
You're part of the team.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Marty?
I literally was like ready to just fall out of my chair.
Sharp intake of breath.
Yeah, I was like, he's not gonna do it again, is he? Again? He's gonna do it again? Even Marty's like, all right, enough with this weirdo.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is good to be in person.
For sure.
Yeah,
I missed
I'm
this.
gonna try my best to not look at a screen to see what people think.
Yeah.
Because
You're saying terrible things.
Okay, I mean, nothing but racist remarks right now. I thought our audience was better than that.
Yeah.
I
Don't treat
expected
Marty
better.
that way.
Yeah.
A lot of cat people in chat. Disgusting.
Oh, I get it. I get
To
it.
suck. What are you gonna do?
Suds to sud, right? How's it going, everyone?
It's going pretty well.
I got a haircut. Boom. There you go. everybody. Almost knocked your Diet Coke over.
Look at that.
That's one way to debut it. I like it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's first.
Is this a coif, right?
I think that's. I think I'm good.
Is that a high top fade?
It's definitely not a fade. She told me. The lady at Great Clips, who I was very appreciative of, told me she could not fade. She could not get it to blend. So it was basically undercut or nothing were her words.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, it's an undercut.
Yes. And I'm like, undercut? Isn't that the thing that all those racist people have? And I'm like, you know what? I think,
Not like me.
okay.
Oh, it's an undercut like a Nazi thing?
I think Nazis have a lot of things going on.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't let them take things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
We
what I
need to
decided.
take things.
That's right.
away
I'm
from
taking
them.
it back.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went with the undercut.
Nazis don't ever shave their heads, do they? That's not a...
No, yeah, you're
okay.
you're completely.
That's
don't
never
do that.
happened. It's
Okay,
never
no,
happened.
no,
You're in the clear.
Don't really have an option.
yeah.
Unfortunately.
The craziest part of Grubb's haircut, which we should talk about right now, is the fact that Dan saw Jeff
He was the first person to see me.
for hours.
I also approached someone in the lobby that was not you and went, hey, there he is.
I didn't know that.
We discovered something throughout these last 48 hours or so that Dan has a certain sort of like blindness to faces.
No, not the faces. No.
Well, you went up to another person who wasn't
the guy
Jeff.
was looking down. He had dark hair, and I could see he had facial hair. And so I was not a crazy one. I'm usually pretty good with faces.
Bottom line, you did not notice Grubb's very dramatic haircut at all.
I did not.
Yeah.
There is anger in his eyes right
Does
now.
he
that I
usually wear
can
like a
see.
stocking cap on stream or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah,
that.
your, like,
Right,
trademark?
exactly. I try to look like a 7-Eleven robber.
Okay,
A perfect
yeah. Full
robber.
like
Yeah.
ski mask. Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
yes.
No, I did. I noticed it now. You say it now, and I can like compare it to pictures in the past, and it's not the same. So
You don't remember
You know what?
all the
You're
fishing
right.
You're right. It's
Yeah.
not the same.
Yeah. So no, I see it. I
Man,
see
guess
that-
who champion over here?
Yeah. Yes.
So what's the next move after this? Are you gonna
Oh, God, I
maintain
don't know.
it? Okay.
Well, I do think that I probably will go back and get another haircut and say, just do the same thing you did last time, but just leave the hair on top as long as it is. I think I'm just going to keep letting this grow and get long until we reach, I don't know, an inflection point.
A nexus?
A nexus of sorts, yeah.
Okay.
A hair nexus, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. I feel better. I'm glad I got a haircut.
Because the thing I'd like to introduce now, Grub, is when you shaved your head, you were growing everything all out at the same time. Now there's a difference going on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, I mean, but it was like my hair grows like a helmet, like a natural helmet. It was just like poofing out into this round globe.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's a very specific look, and I'm not a scientist that could like pull off like, oh, you look like a madman.
Yeah.
So I had to do something. But that was my first haircut in more than 10 years,
Wow.
other than the one I had in the garage that was mostly performed by Mike Minotti with a pair of like beard trimmers, mostly.
It's a big moment.
Yeah. So it was.
Were they pre-used by any chance, the beard clippers?
I don't want. I'm trying not to think about it too much because I don't know where they've been and where.
Oh, is it like
what
does it say
beard-
Manscaped on it?
I didn't look, but I don't
Dude,
think so.
That doesn't bother me. I feel like that's fine.
If someone shaved their pubes with a thing and then shaved your head,
I mean, what's like,
It's not like feel my hair.
you're not gonna get like sick.
what's
but-
gonna happen? Like, I
You
understand.
will just feel dirty.
Yeah,
Sure.
I don't want ball sweat
It's
in my
not.
hair.
Yeah.
But is that the transfer that's happening? I don't like.
If it's
look,
directly touching it,
I'm with you.
I'm not saying
I'm
it's-
with you.
if I put this
logical.
fork up my ass and handed it to you for that pie, would you eat it?
Well, that's the same exact thing. No. The crazy thing is also, it's not going like balls to hair. It's not like in one swift motion.
But it's still
There's time
hanging
that
out.
There's like
in a bag.
residue, you know?
Well, yeah, look, I'm just saying, do I want that? No. Is it a deal breaker? Perhaps not. I'm accommodating.
I would prefer
Listen,
not.
If it happened, it happened, and
It's definitely happened to you. It's happened to all of us. Us all. Maybe it happened to
You
me.
think that all of us have had the ball clippers on our heads?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna like
I have
happened.
separate
long enough
clippers.
timeline.
I
Long
have
enough
separate
timeline.
clippers.
You know,
Yeah.
it happens to the best of us.
I go to a barber for this. I know that
Oh,
he
you're fine.
doesn't.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Another thing I want to bring up. This morning, picked you guys up from the hotel in one car.
Okay.
Went out to a diner, breakfast.
Yeah.
Came back here. Just now, we went to go pick up food in a different car. Dan came with me. And you want to tell everyone what you did?
I was asking questions because I want to get an electric vehicle, and
Oh,
so I was
Dan.
asking questions about it. I was looking because you were showing us features in the. Can I say what the car it is?
Yeah.
The Ionic. And you were like, oh, the cameras and stuff. And I was looking at your dash, and I was like, why aren't the cameras popping up? What's going on? So I was asking you a bunch of questions. And we had a full conversation about cars before you revealed to me that you were driving a different car. It
Dan was in a different
sitting there.
car.
was like,
Dan,
it pretty much looked like the same thing. It seriously did.
one
What's
is
the other car?
Like,
wheels.
if it was like a
Q7,
highlights magazine thing where it's like
No,
spot the
no,
differences,
Dan.
there's probably a couple, but not enough for it to be up.
literally,
I might be more than a
literally
couple.
twice as large. This car.
Okay.
Complete like you. It's
I
a
wasn't
different.
on the outside. I
It
couldn't
also
see how
has an
big-
undercut. Which how do you not notice that?
But like
Nazis love it.
he did not realize that he was in a completely different car. Not to mention,
It had all the same stuff.
Do you think we could kidnap Dan?
and then he goes,
I don't even know.
no, but like, look, and,
That's where I live, I guess.
and maybe like I have too much attention to detail. Where like I know this car I'm in now has a gas engine. You can hear it and smell it, and it's loud. And he's like, wait, we're not in the same car as we were before. Do you remember going into the garage? Like I just don't understand. So many different things. It's so many.
No, I don't know where you put the car when we got here, and it looked identical.
I just feel like, I don't know. I'm not going to dig into it. I just feel like there's a level of awareness that like is just
the amount of times Bonk has gone to pick me up, and she can attest to this. And I've gone to just like, oh yeah, she'll be here at noon. And at noon, I see a car, and I walk up to it, and I'm reaching for it, and I look up, and it's just a terrified guy looking at me like, who is this guy? It's a lot. And a lot of times I'm doing goofy stuff like walking up to make like Bonk laugh, and then I'll get to the car, and they'll just be like, some guy I don't know,
like
So
10 times.
The goofy thing less than 10, but like the walking up or walking to the wrong car in a parking lot, hundreds maybe.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, like
isn't
my
that
dad,
a lot? Isn't that a troubling amount?
That's a lot.
I just don't pay attention to cars.
But like that's, I
not
think
a car
that's
guy.
fine. You're not a car guy, so you don't know like, oh, that's a this car, that's a that car. That's fine. But like in the course of an hour, you don't know you're in a totally different car.
I knew you had a space car, and then I'm in a car with you driving, and I assumed it was the space car, and I was asking questions about it. It's
Okay,
A to B.
okay.
Not to mention he sat in the front both times. So like, and those two cars are. Hey, podcast.
You know,
right?
we should change our clothes subtly throughout when he's not looking. And
I
see if
swear
he
to God,
notices.
there's no fucking way.
You would know.
notice.
I don't
There's
think
no
you. I don't think
fucking
you would
way.
ever
No
notice.
way, dude.
Okay. Here's my theory. Dan, I think you may not remember things well, or it doesn't stick with you if you see it. But maybe if you smell, I think your sense of smell may be stronger.
You're a smell
Where you'll
you're a
remember
smell
smells more often.
No, because a lot of times I'll be at home and Bonk will be like, "Oh, do you like the smell of this candle?" I'm like, "I didn't know we had a candle lit." And so I can't. I don't have a great smell buds or like I don't.
You ain't right.
Oh,
man.
yeah, smell buds.
Yeah.
Dude.
And that's what we are, folks. We're just a bunch of smell buds.
Welcome to the smell buds.
Welcome to Smell Buds, our new podcast.
You ain't right, dude. You just ain't right. You just ain't right.
Look, I don't know what it is, but
What about
I'm
with
happy.
hot water? Like you can feel hot water, right? You can feel temperature.
Oh, I can feel temperature change. Okay. This is cold. Yeah.
I just want to make sure you're okay, Dan.
I'm happy.
There you go. That's all
I know
that
things might not be wired correctly, but I'm happy. That's not bothering me.
It's not
you know?
affecting him.
Yeah.
You might get in the wrong car. You might get kidnapped.
Yeah.
It
But
hasn't happened yet. So.
Yeah.
you'll be happy about it because you won't know.
I guess we'll eventually talk about video games, but we have an assortment of treats in front of us, folks at home.
Yeah.
Brought lovingly, painstakingly made by Marty. Marty,
This is
Slade,
what
by
we
the
got
way.
together. People
Look at
are
this
wondering why
poor-
are they all together.
this
To have
poor
the treats.
guy.
Yeah, people
showing his
are
nose.
wondering why I took like a red eye one night in a hotel. Like, what are they doing? What's happening? All this doom speculating. We just came to eat pastries together.
Eating some
Yeah, we
pastries.
just wanted a lobster tail.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the cannoli stuffed lobster tail. Cannoli cream.
So Bakalar, if you go from I guess top of the table to bottom of the table and tell us what is what.
Describe it for the folks on the
Yes,
audio.
The
audio.
first one we got here is a lobster tail, which is like a pastry in the shape of a croissant, if you will.
What's the gusher thing on top?
That's probably just like icing, but it's got pistachio sort of nuts
I
drizzled
thought it
on
was
the top of it
jalapenos.
with cannoli cream. So there's
Okay.
chocolate chips in there too. What was this? This was the
That's
Oreo
Oreo cheesecake.
cheesecake.
Taste. I think taste is the thing you remember then, Dan.
Totally.
I know taste.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm saying that may be like the most vibrant thing in your
If
head
you,
of
yes,
memory.
right. Because if you ordered something and it had tomatoes on it, obviously, but if you got something and it had none of the stuff you hate, but something changed about it, do you think you would notice, or
Yeah,
you
because
like?
a lot of the stuff I eat is very uniform. Like I know what a
Right.
cheese it tastes like.
Okay.
If it tastes
Right.
weird, I would know. Yeah.
Okay, all right, we're cracking the code.
What was this? The cookie
That
butter?
was cookie butter. I'm going straight for the cookie butter.
Yeah, all right, you're free.
you a cookie butter guy?
It sounded really good. I
It
assume
looks
it's really
good.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
This a traditional lemon bar. Then we have another kind of cheesecake.
That was the Tres de Leches.
Oh, dolce.
That's the
Dolce de leche.
the
yeah.
Cacio e Pepe. Yeah.
Catch your pee cheesecake. And then this, I forget what they call this, but it's basically like an exploded cannoli.
Fucking A.
Yeah, so
Is that like a cream puff?
it's like cream puff with cannoli filling and cream on top. We're looking at, I would imagine, close to 4,000 calories in front of us.
When we take a break, I am going to need that espresso.
Yeah, so we'll
Yeah,
we'll
you
do
know-
all that. It looks really good. This is what. Are you okay, bud?
Yeah, I was
You
looking
do
at
the
cookie
one hand
butter.
clapping with
like-
two
All right.
hands.
So are you just like a crab?
You have
like
a
what's
fork.
it?
You have a fork.
Just one.
What is the sound of one hand clapping? It's this.
Here, so you want me? I can cut you a piece
I've never
of this.
understood that.
Do you want- I don't
metaphor.
know.
It's like, you trying to be deep here?
Here, you want to get like that, or what? Do you,
Give me a big boy there.
What is stopping us from just forking?
I guess we could just fork it. You know?
Oh, Friday night forking.
Guys, please.
Oh wow, that's
There we go.
a special kind of richness. What that is.
Okay.
Really good.
Now Dan seems pleased with the cookie butter cake. Grub is going for this is the
Oreo.
Oreo.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
look
Very
at
good.
that.
Very good.
I had to do
Turned on
damage
its
to the
side.
Oreo.
That's fine. You know.
I don't like lemon bars. So I'm gonna go for
Cookie butter.
Make
Okay.
sure you chew right into the mic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
The cookie butter. If you ever went to Trader Joe's, they sell that in the jar.
There's speculoos.
Specular, right? It's
Oh,
that.
is that okay?
It's that.
Yeah.
It
Hell
tastes
yeah.
exactly like that.
Oh, lemon bar.
Marty, which one?
Tangy.
Oh, definitely. Do not
I
feed the
know.
dog
I got
dessert.
dogs. I know.
Yeah. What about the steak dinner?
That was years ago. We haven't fed him any human food since.
Structural.
Yeah, the Oreo cheesecake looks like it not going to survive any stability test, but
Hey, but it's really good.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I'm a lemon bar guy too. I'm just going to take a little smidge of that. And that's
Dan,
it.
what are the? This isn't a mic check question. This is just a shoot question on our video game podcast. What are the 3 milks in Tres Leches cake?
Almond.
Honestly, great answer.
Yeah, for real.
Great answer.
Yeah, it's better than anything I would have said, I swear.
Vitamin D.
So
Hang on.
Vitamin D milk.
I'm thinking.
You said
and chocolate.
honestly, 2 of those answers are just like really good.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No,
No.
but 2 of those.
What are
I don't know what the answer is
Is it
either.
like cow's milk, goat's
Condensed?
milk, and
Condensed? I don't know.
No idea.
it's condensed milk, evaporated milk, and then the milk of your ancestors.
Teat. Yeah, the teat milk.
No, it's not actually teat milk. No.
Wait,
So confused.
you
It's
know
the milk of a Cambodian immigrant.
Yeah, wait.
Like Puffy got on that show.
what confused you? Like breast milk?
Condensed
No,
milk?
just all the milk I know just comes from the plastic thing at the grocery store. I don't really know. I drink almond.
Anyway, this is delicious.
I'm not a milk doctor.
milk doctor?
Hey, I'm not a milk doctor here.
Okay, the Tres Leches cake is good.
That's this guy, right?
Yeah, it's a little chewy boy though.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, this is the kind of podcast it's going to be. This is where it's
Yeah,
a
this is
special,
it. Yeah.
special
This is
moment.
what in-person podcasting is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you want me to get some for
Oh
you?
no. Bakalar was gonna say you also took us to other half yesterday.
Yeah, ooh, some fancy beers.
We had some like little stout boys.
Yep.
Well, not stouts, but like little stout glasses of beers.
Really nice to see everyone enjoying it. Tasty
Yeah.
beers, good times,
It's been
couple
a fun
of
trip.
drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I still don't know what day it is.
No.
That's okay.
I'm coming off 7 days of like being in Boston with my dad, Connecticut, here. I've been running for like a week now. Great.
Yeah, it was like serious at that point. I'm like driving home from that thing last night, and then
Yeah.
you started saying raw, and then I'm like, they were talking earlier today. But yeah, traveling, I like lose time, and it's like we haven't had really, other than the meetings that we were having, any sort of thing that we had to be at. It's like, I'm just kind of going wherever Bakalar takes me. So,
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And it's
Yeah.
been all right.
yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
We're getting to good spots.
Yeah, we
Taking in the-
stopped by the
town.
fandom office, packed.
Overflowing.
Shoulder to shoulder, really.
Yeah.
Had to wait 10 minutes for an elevator.
Oh my gosh, the process, fantastic though. We peed so much.
Oh.
Yeah, ran a train on that toilet.
Yeah.
There-
You were on like my level.
No, I felt like you for the first time.
I think that's the most I've ever seen Bakalar pee.
I just couldn't believe it. And I got real upset because I had an energy drink. I drank an energy drink.
You were so broken when we told
Yeah.
you that you had an energy drink.
It was like somebody told me, like, you just smoked a pack of cigarettes. Like, that's what it felt like someone just told me.
I didn't know Celsius was new.
Right? And, I looked at it casually, and there was like a bunch of pictures of fruits on the front. So I'm like, oh, this is probably just like a sparkling, or like a Spindrift
juice.
adjacent, like, vitamin infused thing. And it turns
That's
out, like,
basically Four Loko.
Yeah, it's basically like a Red
One
Bull.
half, yeah.
It's like a fruity Red Bull is what I drank.
Yeah.
And I'm not
It was
happy
good.
with
I
that.
like it a lot.
Is Four Loko still around?
yeah, but
In
it's
like
not
a
the same.
Cheapened.
They changed the laws,
imitation
right?
form, yeah.
Did they have to take alcohol out of it entirely?
I think they took some of the caffeine out of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
but it still has alcohol in it?
Yeah, the formula is all out of whack now.
Got it.
Yeah.
Where's it up?
He's over here.
Dog.
Over there. Go.
Already food for you.
Oh, yeah. Get into that big pastry boy.
Hey, Becca, can you stabilize for him with your fork?
Yeah, maybe if we work together
Yeah,
in
work
some sort of
together.
situation here.
Yes, chef.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Are you good? Stability achieved?
Oh, okay. Look at that.
Excellent. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with everyone, and it's just like we're just going over business. Just
Yeah,
talking shop.
We're just like talking shop.
So, you know,
Yeah, looking at Excel sheets.
tons of them.
You
Tons of
making
decks.
Decks.
Oh,
big
it's
screens.
decks? Oh yeah.
Getting FaceTime with important people. Mostly us, mostly each other.
Just looking at each other.
Yeah, just staring at each other, doing a lot of eye contact drills, just
Nodding,
and eye contact. I'm not going to break it, Dan. I'm going to hear. I'm serious.
You can't do this. We're going to be here all fucking day.
I'm committed.
It's so weird that like
You blinked.
No, I'm not blinking. Thank you for
blinked.
paying attention.
You blinked.
No,
I don't think
Check the
that was
3D
established.
Okay, yeah, we'll check the 360 cam. You blinked.
exactly.
didn't
We'll
say
go
you
to the
couldn't blink.
videotape. God, you just really know how to make a moment uncomfortable.
He started it.
Yeah, but like for whatever
talking
reason,
about?
it was definitely
Yeah,
Dan
it was
now.
Started it.
but I'm just
Dan.
unfazed. Like you have this energy about you that like, I don't know. I guess sitting next to you on a flight is probably the worst thing anyone can do. And like
What are you talking about?
I've done it, so it's
What are
all
you
good.
talking about?
So I was telling Dan this yesterday, but the couple that sat next to me on my flight over here, they were watching the last episode of The Rehearsal. Folks that don't know, The Rehearsal is
God.
Nathan Fielder's pseudo kind of reality show that has a very heart-wrenching ending.
It got me. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I just saw these two people that were so like happy and in love with each other just lose the light from their eyes, and they were like, all right, well, we were closing this now. They both took off their headphones and then just like held each other as they fell asleep on the floor.
Oh Jesus!
It's brutal.
They just melted into the
They just
seat.
melted into each other.
And that was it.
And then like I quietly took off my shoes, but then the lady was like, I don't know if she was going to tell me to put my shoes back on or whatever, but she was like, take my shoes off too. And then he took off his shoes, and the people in the next aisle over took off
you
their
started
shoes.
a thing.
I think we started off a no shoes train.
I don't
Yeah.
like this at all. It's
Would-
no good.
Dan, what's the longest flight you've been on?
And 14 hours.
Did you take your shoes off?
I think so.
You should, right?
You gotta let them dogs breathe.
Yeah.
I think if you're prepped, like by that I mean you have put on clean socks and and everything, and your shoes aren't stank, you're going to be fine on a long flight. No one's really. I mean, cramped spaces, you always got to be careful. But if take a Greyhound, no one gives a fuck. There's no laws there. Take off.
You can
take
do
off,
whatever
take off
the
your
fuck
pants.
you want.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
taking Greyhounds across Iowa. It is.
Yep,
yeah,
I took them across the country, and it's like no one
do whatever you
yeah,
want.
absolutely.
Vomit, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's,
On someone, on
Yeah,
the driver.
Totally fine.
I think if you're barefoot on a plane, I can't get on board with that.
What if you present as a very clean person though?
If you present as a clean person and you're traveling from one tropical locale to another, I think that's fine.
If you are wearing any sort of Jimmy Buffett or Tommy Bahama
Yeah.
paraphernalia,
If there's straw in your hat,
Those are all the right shoot names?
those are shoot names.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. I don't.
it's just like a very, very fine, thin, specific set of circumstances where barefoot plane travel is okay.
Tommy Bahama is someone's like government name.
I hope it's someone's shoot name.
Somewhere, someone is named Tommy Bahama.
I mean,
cool.
You know what? It's. I mean, if you change your name legally, is that now your shoot name? Yeah,
No,
right.
Yeah, but it's not. as cool.
Okay, birth, government name.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Mama Bahama. Who do you think had him?
Bahama's pretty good.
Oh man.
What's the about sitting next to me on a plane? I put on my headphones. I play a video game.
No, you're fine. I think.
a beer.
Well, that's part of the problem. You know, like you have this, you exude this sort of like anxious flying energy.
I do.
And that through the transitive passenger property infected me a little bit.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
And Mahardy was sitting in between us. This is Game Awards.
And then he infected you with lacrosse.
Yeah. And then I all of a sudden like grew a full head of hair and half a sleeve. And I was like,
It's really awkward when you play hockey games.
when it's not but yeah, like, and I think I was more like sort of deeply troubled by like your preparation for flying. Look, I get it,
I'm
but like,
nervous, yeah.
you know, and like it's just there's so much piss. The piss is like so insane.
Yeah.
It's just like
I'm not like unruly on flights.
no, and you're not like actively pissing like outside.
I go to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
not like when you went inside this house.
it's just
He's
you know.
probably making it sound more. I had like 4 mimosas with my Hardy beforehand, and we got on a plane. I had some drinks on the plane, and I probably fell asleep and peed a lot.
And
in
then
the toilet.
And then it was 11 a.m. And then no, like you're just a really leaky friend, is what you are. Like that's what it is. Like being
Your
friends with
smell
you is like-
buds, your leaky friends.
you're just like one leaky ass person. And look, I love you for it.
Leaky
You know what
ass.
can I say? It's a good leak.
Yeah, it's like I'm storming the cockpit or something.
I gotta piss right now. No,
Land the plane. I need a real toilet.
but yesterday I did feel like you because I got like after the third time I got up, I'm like, holy shit, is this what Dan experiences all the time? Where like this constant need to piss?
Yeah.
And it was like my bladder had shrunk to like a pea, and I could not keep it in. Like I think after lunch I finally caught up with you have to like catch up to the piss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I finally caught up to it, and I was like, okay, I'm good. And then we went drinking, and it was like over.
The thing I forget about working in an office is just the easy access to liquids and coffee,
Yeah.
especially.
Especially the free fridge thing. I had
oh
like
my
8
God.
of those hint waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to stay hydrated.
It was terrible. They had cold brew on tap, and I'm like, this place wants to murder me.
Yeah.
And then we talked throughout this meeting about me getting hit by a bus.
That was a recurring thing that did
Repeated.
appear on the deck at one point.
Yeah.
Well, then it was tough too because at the Phantom office, the line for the bathroom, there's only like 20 toilets, and there's so many people.
There's like a bathroom attendant, you know.
Here's the joke. There was no one at the Phantom office.
No one.
It was a ghost town.
Ping pong table for no one.
We were 99% of the people there.
Yes.
Yes. I felt bad because whenever I went to go use the bathroom, I could still hear you guys talking. And I'm like, well, who am I feeling bad for?
100%. We were like keeping quiet. It was crazy, right?
Yeah.
I think it felt very much like the day after the pandemic started.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Where we're like, that was my memory of March when we were in the old office, and just going back to like get all of our shit even before the first acquisition. Just dead, and that was the first acquisition.
Well, I got an email today that I guess I'm going back.
No.
Can I just say what I got?
Yeah, I mean, it's
I got
fine.
an email today where it's like sent to my Giant Bomb address, like, congrats on your first day at Red Ventures. And it was from Red Ventures HR.
Man,
I went
that's
to Bakalar. I was like, is there something I need to know here? Like,
It
No,
could
that
not
company's just on top of everything over there.
Big Rick loves you.
It could not happen to a more paranoid person. Like, it is the perfect crime of like someone just being like, "Oh, that Riker guy was pretty fucked
Anyway,
up." Right?
congrats,
Like,
Dan.
I guess I work for Red Ventures.
Yeah,
again.
you're
All
back.
right,
You're
whatever.
back. You're back.
Video games.
Oh,
Nah.
No?
I played a couple, but like, have you guys
I don't know how
time?
to time out these segments. I don't have like the normal shit I have in front of me to time shit out.
No, I
I don't know
understand.
when we started. I don't know when we're gonna end. I'm still on West Coast time.
Oh, no.
And you're flying back tonight.
Yes, it's gonna be great. We're gonna have fun.
What are we doing?
Bring him over here. Like, follow,
Oh.
like make him follow. Here. Just so he sits back there. Now make him follow. There you go. This is how you trick a dog.
Oh, well, someone said talk about wrestling for 3 hours. I'm willing
Yeah,
to do
let's
that.
do it.
No, that's, I mean,
Brock Lesnar looked scary last night.
Yeah, I watched that clip again because we watched it in the Uber. He looks terrifying, like
More than
extra
usual.
terrifying.
Yeah, he always looks terrifying, but
Because
yeah.
he had the stitches in his head,
Yeah.
the black eye. I still couldn't figure out what was going on with his nose.
The crazy Seaman hair, which is the thing that comes out the top.
Oh, he looks like a terrifying seaman.
He's a terrifying Seaman.
Oh my
yes.
god! Someone please mod that in.
Yeah.
you guys should try the
It's
exploded
good.
cannoli.
It's good. The
I'm
cream
going in.
cream is mad thick.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all
mad
right.
thick. Mad
Matt
thick.
Thick cream.
Mad thick cream.
Yeah. Oh, the tomahawk last night was good.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
had
That steak for two.
Shouts out to the big Seaman. You know,
Big
the
Seaman.
actual Seaman.
Actual Seaman Carlos.
Yes.
We went to a place called Black Barn. It was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a tomahawk steak. I had lobster sausage,
Had crab.
soft shell crab.
Yeah, I got barbecue.
It was really special dinner. It's very nice.
Fun times.
Yeah, fun times.
Fun times. Greg, you said you were playing games.
Yeah, I played one game. I mean, listen, I was playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and I'm really enjoying that. But it's like I was getting ready for this trip, so I was packing, and I didn't have a lot of time to go sit down on the PS5. So I got the Steam Deck out, and I played Shadows of Doubt, which might be the most Jeff Grubb game.
What?
Okay.
How's
First,
that?
give us like the 5 aspects of a game that make it a Jeff Grubb game.
So the biggest one is a game needs to work in a way that feels like logical to the real world, where if you have a door, you can lock it. And if you have a door that you can lock, well, you could find a key, or you can pick the lock. Or maybe you could find the key, or when you're finding the key, it's like, yeah, it's going to be in the person's apartment, maybe it's on their body, or maybe it's under the rug, under the carpet. All these things are true for this game so far. Okay, every light switch needs to work, and it needs to be connected to a light, and the lights need to be, interactable, and you need to turn them off. And then you can also, knock them out by turning off the power at the whole building. That all works in this game. You need to have multiple ways to like get inside a building, and basically it's just like the world should work as expected. And this game does exactly that. And then on top of that, it's this procedurally generated murder mystery where you are, you get like a note, like, at least for the tutorial mission that I'm doing, you get a note under your door. It says, hey, look into this thing, see what's going on. And I started, all right, so you start like, okay, there's a name here. I'm going to look at the name and I'm going to, okay, how can I figure out where this person is in the world to like start figuring out what's going on with them? Well, there's the phone book. I found the name in the phone book, and then I get the address from the phone book.
So how is that procedurally generated?
Well, they are procedurally generating the
solve, basically?
The procedure generating the murder itself. So it's like who was murdered, where they were murdered, how they were murdered, what other sort of... I'm not super deep into like solving it yet, but it's like, here are... for example, in the first case, it's like, okay, so you go to the apartment where you got the note to, and you go there and you discover the body. They're hit with a gunshot wound. That's how they died. We know that. So we know there's a gun involved. And as we're searching their apartment, there is a signs of, okay, well, here's a receipt for someone that like went to the store. So we know that they shopped there. I could go ask around like, hey, what does this person live here that was killed? Like, what do they do? What do they like? You can also find out where they work. Go there and start asking about them there. Or you can find something that says, hey, they went to like a weapons dealer, or there was like a note from a weapons dealer saying, hey, you're going to need a piece tonight. And it's like, and here's the name of the person that like deals the weapons. You try to use either the phone book or this person's personal address book to find out where they are in the world. All of this stuff is locked together in a way that feels very, very satisfying and realistic. It doesn't feel like just sort of slapped together in it.
Yeah.
And it's all, and so how can a game do this? Well, it's voxels. It looks like a very, instead of the big cubes of Minecraft, they're smaller cubes.
Oh, like teardown?
Yeah, teardown. Yeah. And the people are like teardown sort of like walking around, but they are also made of voxels. But it's like, it has this really great style to it where, again, because all the lights work, all the lights need to sort of be physically represented as they're going through the world. So you turn on the light and it like reflects off the wall nicely. And it's just blowing me away that this game is happening. Like, I always have wanted a game like this, and now it's here.
It seems really cool. I've been watching Bianca play it. And it's early access now, right?
Yes, that's right.
Are you doing keyboard and mouse or control?
I'm playing on Steam Deck where it's running not fantastic. I'm getting like 30-ish frames per second if I'm lucky. Okay. But I'm doing controller. Okay,
no weirdness or floatiness, swimminess with the controls, because the analog sticks, we've tried tweaking them and everything.
It's a little, yes, so that's a little floaty, and the interface is cumbersome.
I've noticed that, yeah. Backing out of settings and stuff.
Backing out of settings, you are you have, so as you are discovering all these objects in the world, you are getting little pieces of pictures that you could put up on your evidence board, and you could decide yourself whether or not you're going to pin them up there and move them around. But you start getting like really quickly 30 things up there, and you're like, okay, I'm going to decide how I'm going to organize these things. But the actual act of interfacing with this thing to organize it is cumbersome and difficult to figure out, and you're like jumping between the menu where I am organizing all the evidence and the menu above that where it's like, oh, we could check out some other things and see my inventory. And yeah, going in and backing out of this stuff it's taking time to get used to. I do wonder, I bet it would be easier with a keyboard and mouse.
Is it anything that you think couldn't just be fixed throughout the early access period?
I mean, no, I think this is all stuff that they're going to figure out through early access. I mean, this is where I'm at with a game like this. It's got this strongest foundation, and all they need to do is figure out these pain points, which are just points of pain, not like fundamental problems, and then build on top of the procedural stuff that you're doing so that as people are playing these games, they're like, listen, the murder mystery was cool, but wouldn't it have been cool if? I bet they are very quickly going to be able to add, you know what, it would be cool. Let's do that. They're going to be able to add stuff to the game.
Yeah, it seems like all the conceptually really, really cool. And I like the look, too. Like, a lot of things have done the voxel look, but I don't know, it's kind of like a darker nighttime. Like it's a cool vibe, too.
Yeah, it's kind of living cities. You know, all these people are wandering around, and every single person is procedurally generated, so you can you can follow them, and so the crimes are happening to them, you know, completely irrespective of what you're dealing with, and you could go look into that stuff if you want. Maybe it is related. You don't know. Probably not. But, you know, if you bump into somebody, they're going to be like, hey, why are you following me? If they get frustrated with you, they can either call cops or they can attack you. And you have some ability to attack. You can get your fist out. Maybe you can find a weapon. But mostly it is just about poking around this world, investigating, and doing so in a way that you are mindful of your environment because, again, it's all going to work the way you expect. So So you go into an apartment and make sure that you know the ways to get out. Windows, maybe, but there's going to be a vent that you can crawl through. Make sure you know where that is. It's pretty impressive. I'm blown away by it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when what's the track for like the 1.0?
Yeah, I mean, so it just entered early access, so it's probably going to be some time. And I'm at a point with early when I find an early access game I like, I'm like, you know what, take your time. I'm already enjoying myself. So if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, I'm going to be fine because it's already fun to play, and I want to like learn it at this stage. And if it changes drastically, it's just something that happened with like Dead Cells and a bunch of other stuff. Hades. Right. And it's like, you know what? That's okay. That's a different phase of this game. And I want to have a relationship with the game that I like this much. So if it changes over time, that's fine. But, you know, if it stays like this for a long time too, that's cool too, because there's so much to unearth.
That's very cool. I was just checking to see if there's like a weird tape-to-tape embargo. But I
don't Matt Rory's tape.
Matt Rory's TM hockey fan.
It is out on early access too, so I think you could talk about it.
Yeah.
Is this made by the place that he went to?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's their first game, yeah.
Oh.
He told me...
It's out.
It's
Yeah,
out.
it's early access.
Yeah. Yeah, he called me. He's like, oh, you know, this whole time I was just like a hockey mole. I was trying to understand what the game was, learn everything I could from you. And it was like a very thankful sort of like conversation.
It was the long game when he joined Bomb in 2008. This was
right. He's like, my exit strategy is
it takes that long to learn a sport.
Of course it does. Yeah. It was a hockey-based exit strategy. And so it's funny. I feel like I've been playing this game. What's that?
Nothing.
I just said if I were a game, I would have sex with Shadows of Doubt in the chat. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay. No, that was on me. I interrupted.
No, I see it there now. That's great. I really like this game. I think it took a while for me to understand kind of like what it is. It's basically like a roguelike.
You seemed a bit mixed at it every time you've talked about it.
Right, so the first time I played it, I had a demo that I guess was not widespread. I don't know, maybe it was some sort of closed beta. I don't
I think
know.
we were that. We played like the summer test or something.
Yeah.
Like that. I think you played one even before that, didn't you? Yeah.
And I didn't like it.
Right. The hockey wasn't there.
Right. And I'd still my biggest complaint is just like the hockey itself is just sort of very kind of like it's arcadey, that's fine, but it doesn't seem super deep, right? The game and then the more recent demo, I really started to like enjoy it because I enjoyed the other roguelike elements that are like in the game. So what it is you put together a team at the start and you choose certain characteristics for characters, and they're like these special moves where like one of them is category. It's basically represented by like a yo-yo, and you can like push the puck out and then this invisible yo-yo like pull it back.
Roguelike powers. Totally. Yeah.
Right. So and you hold on to them until your team loses in a game.
Right.
And that's like the loop. Right.
If you think about it, a hockey season is just a roguelite.
Most sports, right?
Yeah.
So yes, so I think that's cool. I enjoy that. So you basically make your way through these acts, and each act is like a sort of world map where you have a choice to go to one place or the other. One is usually like an extra game that'll earn you more pucks or rubber,
right?
And you cash the rubber in for more, perks and whatever it is. I think that stuff's fun. I'm enjoying the idea of like, because I already have done a couple loops now. I didn't really get the loop experience when I was playing the demos, but now that I'm seeing like, oh, I lost in overtime and I'm dead.
Yeah.
Right, and I have to go back, and you keep a lot of that legacy stuff, and it's that game.
Does it feel like you have the capacity to build like a wildly overpowered team if all the stuff breaks in your favor?
I don't think I've played enough of it to kind of experience that sort of feeling. But I have noticed that like, my second playthrough, I made it to like the fourth game instead of just losing in the second game. There's like there's a team that's all referees.
Oh, that's most sports right now.
Yeah,
the referees are trying to put themselves over.
Yes, seems like it. And like the referees will always. So the one real referee lets the referee team win every face-off. So you have to like do that. There's perks you can get where you win every face-off. The first time I scored against the referee team, inexplicably they waved the goal off.
Oh, wow.
I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, I like what they're doing here. The animation is really goofy. The art is really awesome. And these characters have like very strange, almost like old school Ren and Stimpy sort of
totally
styling to them. But, you know, tragically, though, it is not doing the hockey in the way that I want it.
Yeah, is
to,
it like?
Which
Is it
you know,
even like NHL '94 level or?
It's not. I think the puck moves around real nice. I enjoy that part of the hockey. There's like some interesting deflections that go on, but you're basically just like a pass shoot sort of thing,
Right? Okay.
With one timers. Some of your
work.
Yeah.
There's the hockey wrestling crossover that we all know is coming. It has not yet arrived. It is in the works.
It's
for
close.
Sure. But yeah, it's fun. I'm gonna keep playing it. I think for me, the thing that I lament, right, and yearn for with the NHL series is this sort of like next level control of hockey. I'm obviously not getting that with tape to tape, but I am enjoying the gameplay loop padded with all those hockey sensibilities and all the special moves. Like you do a special move where like every time you shoot the puck, you knock someone out in the head. Like the puck, like that button, you hit triangle, you hit Y, it's going to take a slap shot at the opposing team's head, and they'll be like knocked out for a little bit. All the buffs and all like the cooldown stuff, like all that stuff's fun.
Yeah,
it's cool to introduce that into a hockey game. But I'm definitely way more positive on it than I've ever been.
Yeah, it seems like it's. I mean, and it is in early access with the promise of getting better.
Totally. So it definitely gets the endorsement from me for sure. I'm a big fan.
Matthew Rory's tape to tape gets the endorsement.
Good job, Matt. I knew you could do it. You're welcome. And that's about it.
Yeah,
nice. I've been checking out. I haven't had too much time to dip into it, but it's a game called Desta, Desta. It is kind of a turn-based dodgeball game where you explore your memories and past trauma.
Okay, sure.
Did an AI make this?
So is the trauma happening while balls are in flight?
No,
like an anime.
So it's like it's turn-based. There's tiles in it, and there's crystals and all this jazz. So you were basically going back to your old town. It's very story heavy, so I don't want to spoil too much, but like you come across people in your past, like, oh, this person, we were really close friends growing up. I wonder what they're like. And then to get them into your party, you have to throw a dodgeball at their head. It's great. It's very, very light. I've maybe spent like a good half hour to an hour in it, kicking around in it. And I think I want more turn-based sports games.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Is what I'm getting at.
Well, technically all sports are at their essence
Baseball's definitely a turn-based game.
turn-based.
But
Boxing, fast turn-based.
no.
My dad says boxing is a challenge, not a sport.
Oh, we're just not getting
We can't
into
get
your
back into
dad's
this. We can't get back into this.
brain dead sports takes. Okay, we just cannot do it.
Can you like blitzball?
I do like blitzball.
I kind of do too.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's turn-based.
Yeah.
Windjammers turn-based.
Sure.
Well, it's not like I'm talking about you set up your move and
I
then
know.
you go.
Yeah, I know.
Golf is a turn-based sport.
Without a doubt, it's you're only
Yeah.
turn-based.
Okay.
It's self-turn-based. Oh, Marty's
Marty.
whining.
I guess bowling is also a turn-based.
Turn-based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
like turn-based
chess.
sports, too.
Well, okay, it depends who you're talking to with chess, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people mad sports. But.
Does Desta, this volleyball, have like summons? Can you summon in like a god to help spike the ball or whatever?
I've not gone into summons, but I remember when I checked it out last year at Summer Game Fest, I did have to hit a teacher in the head with a dodgeball. And for some people, maybe that's cathartic. Maybe.
I feel like it'll release a demon or two, right?
Yeah.
I think it's funny getting hit. It doesn't hurt.
It makes that
a
great
fun
noise,
sound.
like, pew.
When it's your own head, you can just hear like it's reverberating basically. Like I like it hitting the head with the dodgeball.
It reverberates when things hit you in the head,
Yeah,
like
you're
like a hollow sound.
He
or
loves
whatever.
the-
I see where you're going with this.
He loves that high pitched, like pinny sound, and when he only
I
sees
do
purple
like
for a
that
half
sound,
hour.
though.
It's a good sound.
Like when you hit someone with like a school ball, right?
Yeah.
It's like
But, like when your head hits something like the ground or something, you feel that like stingy smell. Do you know what I mean? Like
hit my head a
Dan
lot.
loves that.
yeah, I'm like,
No, I don't.
that's what I
As
think about
somebody
getting
who
hit in the head.
Hits myself in the head way too often. I walk directly
Dan, I
into
think
the
you
steel
should-
I-beam.
I'm saying this because I'm worried about you. I think you should wear a helmet.
Honestly, I walk into stuff. I've had pools of blood on my kitchen floor because I've stood up into fucking things and cut my head open. I walk into an ivy in my basement.
There's so many
numerous
scars
times.
on your head.
I mean, they're one.
Because we're just brains in like jars. That's all we are. Like you got to protect that thing.
I've been concussed.
I might wear a helmet.
Concussions are no joke. They suck.
How many have you had?
One legit, one diagnosed
concussion?
One shoot concussion. Probably a bunch of little ones that I didn't go to the doctor for.
Mini concussions.
Yeah, probably. They suck. But anyway, turn-based sports are pretty good.
Turn-based sports.
Yeah.
Desto, the memory between.
Yes, Desta the memory between. Maybe we'll get a quick look out.
Yeah, let's do it.
And stuff.
I want to see it.
Maybe we'll do a good old grab bag UPF. But this Friday though. It's Friday.
Yeah, we got plans this Friday.
Friday. Oh man, I don't know what to do. Again, I think I've said this to you guys before. I'm not the biggest Zelda mark. I don't care about the previous ones.
I am.
I will admit and of course agree that they are quintessential to the greater canon of video games.
It's probably healthy that I today texted my therapist and canceled our weekly appointment because I wanted to play Zelda on Friday, right? Like that's a healthy thing, right?
I mean, you were honest with them.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't tell her. No. I was just like, well, we got.
He very much said, "Should I lie to her?" And I'm like, "Dan, you got to do what you got to do."
I didn't lie. I just said I need to cancel this Friday, and she goes, "Okay."
Okay.
So
I wish you just gave a little more heads up. Is all.
it's Tuesday. I think she requires 24 hours, but it's fine. It's for Zelda. I'm doing all right.
Right, you're doing it for an important reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's very healthy because, boy, I need to play Zelda real bad.
I want to play Zelda very bad. Yes.
I think we're discovering that Nintendo just hates moms, though.
Yeah. Yes. Mother's Day is this weekend. And
Oh yeah.
Zelda's. I mean,
Yeah.
What do you think of the possibility of like we find out in this game Zelda's pregnant and she's going to be a mom?
I called it.
Was that you?
Yes. I'm always calling the people are pregnant.
We're calling it right now.
Yeah.
Zelda's pregnant.
Yeah. Ooh, podcast title. It's right there. It's right there.
Zelda's pregnant.
Someone write this down at the doc.
No need to give any details or anything, but I know everybody in this room probably knows numerous people that are currently deep into this video game. Has anyone heard anything?
Yeah, Zelda's pregnant.
They're not my friends anymore. I'm not talking.
Okay. I've not been asking. I know they've been playing, but I'm keeping quiet.
Mostly being spared. But what I've heard, it's like does get me excited because it's like no one's telling me like too much about whether they like it or not. But I am playing a lot of it, and then kind of like followed by like, wow,
Seems really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know why or how, but yeah.
I need you to frame the wow. Is it like a Owen Wilson, like wow, or it's like a wow?
It's like Owen Wilson with the second one, like Owen Wilson being very excited.
So that's like
Wow. Yeah.
all right, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Mine's Jennifer Coolidge.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
That's also Little Nicky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tie that up together real nice.
This game is it seems like it's the way that the Nintendo's treating it, like so much is going on in there that we don't know about.
That's the thing. I was saying to one of you guys today that like there is a mystery around this game. That when was the last time we had something like what's going on with this game? Like, and they know they don't have to reveal everything because it's fucking Zelda. It's the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Like the mechanics and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
What was the lead up to Odyssey? Because I don't remember.
Mario Odyssey?
Yeah.
It was out there. I mean, there was the crazy trailers where
Yeah.
holy shit, he threw a hat on a frog and now he's a frog. So you knew the gimmick.
okay,
New Donk City was out there and everything.
I think we know
With some of it, I feel like
Maybe we don't though.
There's some stuff that
they've been selected. We don't know stuff about like the basic, like the map situation. We don't know the shrine situation. I ran across one in our preview event, but it's like we couldn't really go into it. Like there's a lot of like, oh, don't look at that yet. Don't
do
talk
not
about
go in
that.
there.
Don't do this. Like, I feel like it's not all out there. Well, I know it's been. Like,
It's definitely
it's
not.
out there.
It's definitely out there.
But I don't know what it is.
Right, exactly.
So I'm very, very interested.
it is fun
Okay.
to see you squirm.
I'm just very excited.
Well, like, I'm aligned with you. Where like, I absolutely want to play this game a lot. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to like share it with my son. But you seem to be losing like sleep over it.
No, I'm just very excited.
I know. I love your enthusiasm, Pat.
I'm like I think about it at night. Sure.
Yeah. Like when you're going to bed, like you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be there.
and it's like, oh man,
A
Thursday.
single tear.
Look,
goes down.
and there's nothing. To be
Tear of
clear,
the
there's
kingdom.
nothing wrong with your enthusiasm. I think
I'm
it's
just
great.
Very, very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's we were like talking like the way it works right now is maybe we get code day of release, but that means late, and it's like that means Thursday night I won't be playing it.
yeah.
I'm buying
I think
it.
we're buying
I'm
it
buying
Thursday
it.
night.
Yeah.
So
It's been a hot minute since I like stayed up and played a game. I think this is gonna be.
so I think the plan is like I'm gonna stay up Thursday night. I'm gonna get in there, and then Friday, I'm going to stream it on giantbomb.com. Like that's what I'm gonna do.
After Game Mess.
Yeah, after Game Mess, we'll just hop on. I'll get something to eat, and we'll take a quick little walk or something, and then sit down and just go.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds great.
I mean, I think there's going to be. I think there's gonna be a lot of stuff to like discover right away, but then I think we'll probably very quickly, probably next week, do another stream or something where we come back around and be like, okay, now I'm here, and here's all the stuff I had no idea.
Just think about the first time you saw a dragon in Breath of the Wild. Like that was probably a few hours in, and it's just like, what the fuck is that?
I was terrified.
I thought it was so cool.
I was shoot terrified. I'm
what
like,
is that?
what the fuck am I gonna do with my little wooden shield and my stick? My
fucking
literal
dragon.
stick.
Yeah.
It's nice to be excited about games.
I love it.
The other game that I've been playing, I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, so you played more Redfall?
I played more Redfall after
why?
UPF. I don't know. I think like I was
Morbid curiosity.
morbid curiosity is probably what it is, and then like normally I will have more fun playing a video game when it's with y'all.
Yes.
Aw.
Despite y'all's company, playing through Redfall,
No, I think it didn't work.
It did not work.
I had more fun playing by myself too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't have fun, but I had more fun.
well, like there was a part where when I couldn't get the game to launch, where I was like, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
That's okay. And but no, I absolutely have had. The game is not that fun at all.
Well,
right?
because part of the reason why I wanted to play a little bit more is because like when we hopped into your world,
yes,
I got some new weapons and I was like, oh, I want to try some of this out. Tried it out. Didn't feel any different than the original guns that I had that I started the game with. I'm like, okay, well, now I'm just going to delete this from my hard drive because nothing about it is grabbing me.
Yeah, and I think it's so easy to point at so many worse games, quote unquote worse, because they are technically worse.
Sure.
This game is the mortal sin of just being boring,
Yep.
and we just want to. I really do want to move on from it.
Yeah,
it has done nothing.
cut the
It
cord.
doesn't deserve this much attention that I'm giving to it in my brain.
Nope.
yeah.
I have been playing. I started the Advanced Wars 1+2. We did the quick look.
Yeah.
And we were kind of talking during
During
about,
this,
like,
yeah.
you mentioned something like, I don't quite love the art style, the battles and
not.
stuff.
I don't like it at all. I love Advanced Wars 1 and 2.
Yeah.
The reboot, I'm glad that it's here, but I don't like the shininess of it.
That's the thing. Like we during the battles, and when you mentioned that, I was like, "Yeah, man, I remember the GBA ones just looking real sharp. And like GBA graphics look awesome. The sound chip's awesome." And so I realized, wait a minute, I have an analog pocket, and so I was like several hours into the Switch remake, and I've just been, especially with all the travel, I was on like Amtraks and long cars and stuff. I've just been playing Advanced Wars 2 on GBA, and I'm having more fun with it on that.
I mean, that is a timeless look. It's Game Boy Advance, of course it is, and the changes in the Switch version are very insubstantial.
It's like the ZR speed up thing is pretty much, one of the
and you
main
could
ones.
reset your turn.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's
it's
one
fine.
looks and sounds better, so I'm just playing that.
Yeah, and it's like, and I think that for people that are coming to it new, sure, just go play the Switch version.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
It's good.
It's not like it looks so terrible or
No.
something. And a lot of the vehicles look good. I think some of the characters don't. I don't like the way the soldiers look, but other than that, I'm fine. But I think the Game Boy Advance ones look better, and they sit. Of course, they're more nostalgic to me. That's when I fell in love with those games. So, but yeah, I think you made the right choice. I think
I'm loving it.
Yeah, if you have the urge to go back, just go back to those ones.
So I hadn't seen an analog pocket in person till last night.
Yeah. It'll do it.
That's
Wow.
great,
Oh
huh?
my god! Because
Isn't
like
there
when you
something
guys
about
played Punch Out when we were on the way to DreamHack, I was in the front seat.
That's
so I didn't see
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
But oh my god,
Yeah.
seeing that screen,
Something
so
about it,
sharp,
right?
so
It's just-
crisp.
Well, I mean,
so
it is so the resolution. So the Game Boy the Game Boy resolution was 160 pixels by 144
my favorite
pixels.
aspect ratio. Yeah,
So the Analog Pocket is 1600 by 1440, so just 10x on both axes, and it's like it's just a perfect 10x integer scale.
So does the Analog Pocket do any post processing, or it's just because of the screen?
So it can do post processing when in terms of like making it look like other screens. So you were seeing, I was playing on a core that didn't support any of these things, but if
Yeah.
you just play on like a Game Boy Color, they can, and you hold down the analog button and then left or right on the D-pad, you can like, okay, here's what it looks like back on the dot matrix display of the original Game Boy with the pea soup color, and here's the Game Boy Light, and here's the Game Boy Pocket, and here's Game Boy Color, and you can go back and forth. But that's all it really does for the most part. There are probably some cores that are messing around with other post processing effects, but for the most part, the screen is so sharp. You kind of just want to present the games as they look on there.
yeah. Because out of all the games you decided to show me, you showed me Stuntman.
I love Stuntman for Game Boy Advance. Yep.
And I was like, oh my God, this looks amazing.
Yeah.
We had this technology back then?
First of all, yeah, we did. Like 3D games on the Game Boy Advance was wild, but
Yeah.
It's of course it's never looked that sharp.
I saw Chad asking like, is playing on the Pocket that much better than a Steam Deck? And like, I love emulation. I've played plenty on the Steam Deck and everything. There's first of all the form factor I think is way better
Yes,
on
it's
the Pocket.
100% it is that.
Yeah, and the screen is just so much crisper. And also, it's the difference between FPGA and
Yeah,
emulate. Like
let's be
software
clear,
emulation.
we're perverts about that stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if someone is like, "Hey, is it that much better?" No,
No, we're insane about it.
we're insane about it. So it is better for us. But no, if you have a Steam Deck and you're happy with it, keep using your Steam Deck. There's literally nothing wrong with it. And honestly, there's a lot right with it. That's a good way to play a lot of emulated old games. But if you care about that accurate emulation and you want that crisp screen and that form factor and have the shoulder buttons kind of comfortably fall right there and you don't have a lot of extra buttons.
The shoulder buttons are pretty good.
Analog Pocket is really good. And also they're like, you can find, like they're actually like available to buy now. I think they're a little bit more expensive.
I think you have to still wait a little bit.
Is it a little bit of a wait?
I think so.
That's probably
Well, after I saw you and Boniello when we previewed
You did look
Zelda,
into it?
Right away. And I was like, oh, okay, this is maybe not a instant gratification thing.
yeah.
It's funny how I got turned on to it in the same way, where it's like somebody showed it to me at a bar.
You have
and I
to
was like,
see it.
And I immediately was like, I gotta get that.
I mean,
thing.
that screen is truly stunning. Like I was in the front seat, you were looking over the shoulder,
Yeah.
and that was enough. Like, wow.
Dude.
I could hear your eyes bugging out. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
The thing that would set me off the edge, and I'll probably try and pick one up as soon as they become more available. If they made an SP version,
the
Clamshell, yeah.
Ooh, that'd be great.
that is
I think
like
they will.
It's like burned into my memories as like one of the best consoles or
Hell yeah.
handhelds.
I think
ever.
they'll do a clamshell one with the Game Boy Advance aspect ratio screen. Not that it needs it, but that would be nice.
The SP is the first thing that got me into portable games.
Really?
Because, like, I had an original Game Boy back in
You
the day.
don't like Game Boy, right?
Oh yeah, well I had one, but all I had was Tetris, I think, for the original Game Boy, and I would only play it attached to the AC because batteries were expensive. So it's like this like pea soup color and everything. And I never had Super Mario Land. I never had Donkey Kong 94. So I just never asked for games for it because I didn't want to like sit on the floor next to an outlet. Same thing with I had Game Gear, barely ever played it. And then the Game Boy Advance, I remember I worked at Funkoland that came in. I was like, I can't see the screen. Like Castlevania was so dark. I don't want to worm light and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then the SP came out, and I was like, oh shit, okay, these graphics look amazing. It's backlit. The form factor is incredible. And I played the shit out of SP. So that's the thing that got me into it.
Did you ever circle back and check out any old Game Boy
And
games?
so like on the Pocket, like it's my favorite thing to travel with. So like Donkey Kong 94, I played through, and Mario Land 1 and 2, I've played through. It's I know there's a lot of great stuff on Game Boy. I just didn't like the hardware really.
Okay.
Yeah, for me it was like a lot of brothers in the house, hard to get time on the TV. Sure, we can go in the basement, but even then, it's like Game Boy games were cheaper, so it was easier to ask for more of those from my parents for like birthdays and Christmas. The only time I was going to get games, and so I would ask us for stuff, and then and so I ended up playing a lot of Game Boy, and in the back seat of the car with the light and with the sock blocking the light so that my dad wouldn't yell at me when we're driving at night with the light on and stuff like
Dads
that.
hate that.
They hate that. They hate
It's
it.
illegal, right?
Yeah, that's what they told me.
That is the equivalent of like touching the thermostat.
It had to be way worse then, because now my kids have the lights on. I barely even notice.
Yeah,
but
well, they're all LEDs and they're
right.
like,
Yeah, they must have been like
super
reflecting
directional.
everywhere,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
he thought he was going to get a car.
I'm looking at their
accident.
site now. It says ships 2023, which could be 7 months, I guess.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah. I mean,
That white one is so clean.
I would look on the white one. That looks pretty
really
good.
good.
Do I need 2 analog pockets? Jeez.
Yes.
The white one looks good.
when they sent me the one they sent me is the black one. They did send me that. I'm like, man, I was hoping they would send me the white one, and whatever. I can't
the
complain.
buttons too on it.
Really? I mean, it's good hardware.
it's really
I mean,
good.
so Analog is the same company as 8-Bit Do.
Right, yes.
Which
And
those
so-
are also great too.
Which is like they make solid hardware usually across the board, and that
Yeah.
stuff shows up in something like Analog Pocket, which they know needs to be solid because it's going to be this expensive thing that if there's any complaints about, it's going to ruin the reputation.
The Analog also, I believe they make like a music device called like the OP1, and it is the slickest looking thing I've ever seen.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yes.
That's awesome.
And I've always wanted to get one, but then I always have to remind myself I know nothing about making music.
No, but
I
like
don't know how to play the piano, but like maybe I could learn if I drop $1,500 on this thing.
totally, and you're like, this thing's so sick that it's probably makes making music a lot easier.
Right.
And if I have it and own it, it'll
it'll do
force me to
everything I
learn.
want.
Exactly. I just have to think it, and this thing will spit out the music I'm thinking about.
What do you think about a modded Game Boy Advance, not SP, but with like the IPS screen, and it looks really sharp? It looks pretty cool to me.
That's pretty cool.
I do keep thinking about these.
I've thought about doing those
Yeah.
several times, but it's like soldering still scares me. I'm going to burn my house down.
Yeah, they try to make it as easy as possible and stuff, and I'm like, even like buying one already complete and finished, it's like maybe I kind of want to do it. I have the Evercade cartridge that you could put on there that you could load ROMs on there and stuff. And I was like, so I could do it, but I'm like, no, I'm happy with the Analog Pocket.
You solder though, right?
No, I'm really afraid I'm going to burn my house down if I do it.
Okay.
So-
It's scary. Soldering is scary, but it's also very easy.
Can you do it without the giant crazy mask?
No, you're thinking of like welding.
Yeah, you think of welding.
Okay.
I think
Do
you'd
they
like
both
welding.
Should I weld?
Get into welding.
I think you'd like
I should be
welding.
a welding guy.
You want to
sure,
cut some
Sam.
That's
metal?
the main thing you can do with welding.
Attach pieces of metal together.
Yes, connect.
Why would I
cut
want to
on.
do that?
To build superstructures.
Yeah, come on.
Okay. I mean, I like building stuff in what we played at Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Basically that. I just
Yeah,
make my
you-
life Tears of the Kingdom.
Basically, yeah, it's like Ultra Hand. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Ultra Hand Goop. Yeah, for sure.
It takes a little longer though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, the game of the week this week, gentlemen, is friendship.
Oh, don't touch me.
And we'll be. Does anyone have anything else they want to bring up, games related?
Actually, has anyone else played Jedi Survivor? I'm just curious.
Yeah. I played a
I
bunch of
have, except I've been playing the PC version. So
So
Yeah.
you're in a rough state. Apparently, I actually don't think I put it in the news. They're going to update it later this week, apparently. So
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see if
I'm
that next
patiently
update
waiting.
does anything.
Patiently
I
waiting.
started it and played like 10 minutes of it, and every time I paused, it would break the audio on my PC. And I was like, wait a minute,
okay.
I didn't even really love the last one, and I'm not putting up with this, so I don't know if I'm going to keep playing.
I enjoy it. I'll probably see it all the way through.
I'm definitely going to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although now it's like I get back Wednesday. Thursday, I'm going to be playing Zelda.
I think the thing that's broken me is that like I grew up just playing handhelds and preferring that, right? Of
course.
And like the Steam Deck has just reinforced that love of
Same.
having a screen in front of my face. Anytime I have to fire up the PS5, it's like, but I have to sit down and play in front of a TV.
I mean, like the place behind me when we do our podcast and our shows, like that is set up for me to have the TV and the games, and no one else really uses it. And even then, I'm like, I don't love just sitting down there playing games by myself. So it's like I want to be playing on the Steam Deck. So when things don't run good on the Steam or don't run well on the Steam Deck,
Yeah.
I'm usually pretty bummed out. Yeah. But I'm playing that. I'm playing Jedi Survivor on PS5. I'll get back to it. I'll try to play as much of it as I can on Wednesday before it's Tears of the Kingdom.
okay, what on the WoW scale? Where is it?
It's like okay, so like the one was like wow.
It's like wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow. It's Little Nicky and Jennifer Coolidge saying wow together. Just
And then they start making
and then
out.
they start making out. I would
Yeah,
love
tongue
to see that.
kissing, real hot.
That's the next T-shirt.
Real.
I don't have Photoshop on this computer. I'll figure it out. All right, everybody. We're going to take a quick breaky break. I don't know how long it'll actually be. And we'll be back with some news. Okay, hold on.
Oh, wow. Wow.
This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. What's good, y'all? I see you doing your best and put in hours at work, making sure you're available to check in and help family and help the homies. But when's the last time you checked in on you? Y'all got to check in on you, because if you forget, you can wind up burning out or stretching yourself a little thin. BetterHelp can help you get in touch with a therapist to help check in on you. Listen, it's 2023. Don't feel any shame seeking out help for anything, especially when it comes to therapy. Therapy has done wonders in helping contextualize a lot of my own behaviors, and it's helped me work on what I've got to work on to be the best possible me. If you've ever been curious about trying therapy, give BetterHelp a try. The whole thing is online and is designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to fit your busy schedule. All you got to do is fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch at any time if that doesn't work out. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/bombcast today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bombcast. Thanks, BetterHelp. Welcome back to the Giant Bombcast, everybody. Still here at the table, sitting at the table, friends at a table. During the break, we're all just holding hands, just staring intently at each other, doing nice energy pulses.
Still in the backyard. We sat in a circle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
We were trying to play Duck, Duck, Goose, but then the geese came and attacked.
You know
us.
the Minnesota thing about Duck, Duck, Goose,
What is it like? Duck,
Duck,
duck.
Duck, Gray Duck.
Oh man.
It's the only state in the nation where you ask anyone, like, hey, what's that game where you do this? And they're all going to say Duck, Duck, Gray Duck.
Oh, was that like a soda and a pop? thing?
Yeah.
It's more like defined. It's like one state. Because soda pop, that's like a whole like region of the country.
Yeah, but
that.
like Georgia will be like everything's Coke, so it's like similar to that.
Yep.
Duck,
Yeah, but this
duck,
is just
Gray
one
Duck.
fucking state. Yeah, if you go to Wisconsin, it's probably Duck, Duck, Goose, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, anything like yes, for sure. Everywhere else in the Midwest, it's going to be Duck, Duck, Goose. But it's like, doesn't that weird you out? Where it's like just one place can have it so different.
Is it maybe? I just thought of this for the first time. Duck, Duck, Goose. Goose has 2 O's. Everybody knows from Minnesota. You talk to Tim Turry and he says like broom. He says brum. Roof
Yeah,
is roof.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
would it
just-
be Duck, Duck, Goose if it was in Minnesota?
No.
So that's why they changed it. 'Cause
Maybe.
they have issues with double O's.
Yeah, they're afraid of it.
Yeah,
they
so it's
fear
like, let's
the
just
double O's.
sidestep this and say
you know,
Gray Duck.
James Bond really did a number on the
Double O.
people.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, he
They're like, oh,
massacred.
shit.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe that's
Just
it.
Gray Duck is so weird.
It's a weird one. Yeah.
Because it's more
Yeah.
syllables. Like
yeah,
It is.
Like, couldn't they have just said something else that
like
had one
duck,
syllable?
duck, dick.
Yeah, or duck, duck. Like I don't know. Bird, other bird. I don't know.
Ah, this dick is chasing me.
Billy was at Plague Fair. I didn't tag him as the dick.
Everyone's a dick once, you know.
Let me do a vote here. I just opened up a bag of Skittles, and they were proudly
Are
celebrating
they your Skittles?
on the package. No, you said I could eat your child's Skittles. It says the original lime up on the corner. They're advertising that, hey, we got rid of that green apple, that fun green apple we changed it to a few years ago. Now it's back to lime. I love the green apple.
Yeah, I thought there was some backlash against the green
There was,
apple,
but they're wrong. It's
but
better.
they're insane.
Green apple is a way better
fantastic.
flavor.
Yeah. This just don't listen to assholes. Don't listen to people say gray duck. We got to figure this out. Yeah.
Give us green apple Skittles. Man.
Yeah,
give me
us
a whole bag of just green apple Skittles.
Yeah. I would find that. They were really good.
Yeah, my partner really likes pink Starbursts.
They're really good.
And then she found a bag of just pink Starbursts.
Favorites.
Wait, what?
Oh, just pink or favorites? Favoreds is all red, so it's like cherry,
no, no.
strawberry.
Pink.
It was all
Just
just
pink?
pink. Just
Oh,
pink.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
This big old bag. And I was like, you don't need any of this. And then she slapped me across the face.
I said something once on a podcast at Game Informer about loving Favoreds, and someone sent like literally like 100 packs of it or something, and I went
God.
through like 20, and I was like, I'm gonna fucking die if I do
Yeah.
this. And I had to give the rest away.
Someone
I
has
was
to
like,
take these
I
away from me.
have to get.
I'm the
these off my
same way.
desk.
I'm just compulsion where I see it, I got to eat it. Absolutely.
100%.
Speaking of like fruity stuff, can I talk about a fraud real quick?
Fraud?
A fraud.
Fraud.
Yeah.
Fraud.
Yeah.
Proud.
There's a guy named Mike Minotti who's afraid of apples and won't eat
yeah,
apples.
That's his gimmick. Yeah.
That's his gimmick. And like he doesn't like apple flavoring unless it's in like a little tiki drink. And then you put any sort of fruit in there you want, and as long as
No.
there's alcohol, he's okay with it.
What?
So we were talking about this. I forget. I think you had to take care of one of the gimmicks real quick during some stream.
That sounds right.
And then Mike and I were talking about tiki drinks, and it was like, yeah, it's the only time I actually like fruit and fruit flavored
No,
things.
I get it because there are a million foods that I
Fraud.
will not ever even try or don't like the taste of. That you
Okay.
put it in a Jelly Belly or in like a potato chip flavor, and I'm like sour cream and onion. I don't ever eat sour cream, and I'm not partial to onions. Sour cream and onion chips, delicious.
Yeah, because it's a flavor designed to be like addicted to.
Yeah, the
Like, it's-
most tasty
That's how I
version of
prefer
that.
my food to be
Right,
shaken
to be
in.
by
Oh,
science.
Give me the science.
We get it.
chemicals. Yeah.
Everyone understands that.
But
Everyone
no,
knows
I'm
that.
just saying I
Marty knows
understand where Minotti's coming from there. I'll defend him here.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the apple flavor is really good. Apples are also very good.
He would not do. He says if it was apple flavored, like an apple teeny, he wouldn't do that. So
we need to get Mitch on an apple team.
I think he would like it.
he
Those
would
are good.
love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Summer Game Fest.
We just told him there's Sonic teenies or whatever the fuck he drank at Sonic's birthday. He went to a Sonic's birthday event.
yeah, sure.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Are you calling? Oh, God damn it.
Oh boy.
There we go.
Hello, Mike Minotti. You're on the Giant Bombcast. How can I help you?
Yeah, look, you're twisting my words. I think you already clarified a bit, but
different on the phone?
like,
He just always sounds different.
I
wherever he
think
is.
Master Shea called you.
Yeah, hello, Master Shake.
if the tiki drink, they put some fucking papaya or whatever, lava, sure, yeah. Like, if they put, like, Minute Maid apple juice or whoever the hell makes that criminal shit, I would know. I'd be upset. But I hope you all have fun.
Thanks.
What was his argument?
I didn't get any of that.
They put other stuff besides the Apple.
But I think he's saying if it was like minute
Apple, he
it was
wouldn't like it?
yeah, he wouldn't be down with it. I think.
All right.
I don't know. I don't care. I wasn't listening.
Apples are good.
Yeah, apples are delicious.
Yeah.
Give me that Honey Crisp. Give me that new and improved Cosmic Crisp.
Okay, out of all the hand fruit, I think I've converted. I think I like peaches more.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Nectarines. Like a nice
Sure.
crisp nectarine.
Yeah. Okay. Plum? Are you a plum fan of
Oh,
plums?
don't like
God damn
plums.
it.
Oh boy. Oh my gosh. Guess what? I don't like plums either, Master Shake.
This is a Giant Bombcast. Go ahead.
Caller.
Yeah, I forgot. The lime Skittles way better than that.
Hang up on him. Hang up.
Sorry. Yeah. You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
I'm blocking that number.
Yeah, do not disturb.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, grub the news.
I've got news for you, everybody. I sat at Jeff Bakalar's kitchen table this morning, putting together some news for y'all. Let's start here. Nintendo had its earnings report overnight in Japan. So far, it has sold 125.62 million Switch consoles worldwide. That puts it about 30 million off of like PS2 and DS, but that's better than anything else. It is a lot of systems
What was the
sold.
number again?
125.62 million.
What is there, like 300 million in America now?
We're probably closer to like 350, 400 million ish. It's growing.
Okay, well, still, that's a lot.
It's a lot. That's worldwide, of course.
Yeah.
Over the last, let's see, Switch added another 18 million to its 125 million total over the last year, but that's down 22.1%. It's also down from what they were expecting at the beginning of the year, where they were like, think we're going to do about 21 million Switch systems sold. Only did 18 million. That was them setting really high sights. 18 million still pretty good. It's like just behind 18 million.
This takes into consideration all the different SKUs.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Now, the OLED model was selling faster this year than it did the previous year. That seems to speak to what is probably happening here. People do want a new Switch. And the people that are like sick of waiting, like, well, then I guess I'll get the OLED. I'll just go get the OLED.
It's not, but it's not. Well, it's an upgrade, yes, but it's not like
Better.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think people are talking themselves into it after like, well, I waited this long. I want something new. I'm gonna play these like this game and this game on the Switch, so I'll just get this new one, even though it's not the one I was really waiting for. Okay. And then once we do get that real hardware, whenever that comes, it will probably pop off. Thanks. Most people have been waiting, and even the people that just bought an OLED probably will step up and get that as well. Let's see. Yeah, Nintendo was forecasting 21 million Switch systems sold at the beginning of the year. In terms of software units sold, it was down 9% to 213.96 million units sold of software. But this is the first time ever that a Nintendo console has sold more than 1 billion units of software. No Nintendo system's ever done that. Every single PlayStation system's done that, but PlayStation has almost always had Call of Duty, and that makes a huge difference.
And Grand Theft Auto.
And Grand Theft Auto, things like huge third-party things that just Nintendo has primarily for a long time now been first-party. A big driver of that is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which, you know what, let's just do this now. If you guys don't look at the number, if you already looked, it's fine. How many copies do you think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has sold?
okay, that's only the Switch version, right?
This is only the Switch version.
Not the Wii U one?
Only the Switch.
I'll say 45 million.
I think it's 75 million.
Okay, I was.
Well, because there wasn't it. Didn't they include it? Is that when they include it?
It's not a pack-in.
No, there is a SKU. There's a SKU, but this includes that. But it's yes. But either way, what do you think?
Sure,
Well,
that's crazy. You're right. That's crazy.
I was going
That's
to say
crazy.
70, but
Yeah.
you said 75.
No, but it's
so
crazy. That's crazy.
We'll split
I
the
think if you
difference.
include the Wii U version, you might get close. It's 54 million. 54 million, which is still.
That's not that far off.
Yes, it. I mean, honestly,
16 million
by
off.
next year, it might
Like,
be
we
getting
all
to
own a
six-
copy of this game,
I
right?
was playing it this weekend with my dad, like a bunch. I did like a bunch of Grand Prix,
Yeah.
and it's still fucking great. And those new,
Yeah.
it's my first time playing a bunch of those new courses. Like,
Yeah.
it's so
That
goddamn
is
good.
That is so insane.
I reviewed that game at Game Informer before I was a Giant Bomb the first time. Like, that game is a decade old.
So then, like, the question for Mario Kart is like Mario Kart 9. When do we
the
get
new
Mario?
console. I mean,
It's got to
like,
be. They just
ride
launched the
this
console
out.
with it,
Yeah.
right?
There's still a bunch more Grand Prix to come, like the courses.
Well, technically, there was a new Mario Kart. It's like the AR little drivey guy.
And Mario Kart 9 is actually, I think Nintendo themselves consider Mario Kart like Tour for mobile to be Mario Kart 9. As insane as that is, I think so.
What about the ride at Universal?
That's Mario Kart 10.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yes, highlights for Nintendo include top-performing games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which has already surpassed 22.1 million copies sold. That is a bananas huge number for a game.
Is it not good?
It had all those technical issues, and he specifically didn't like
Scarlet and Violet murdered my love of Pokemon.
That wasn't the 3D one, was it?
It's one of the newer 3D ones. It's the most recent one.
Oh, you were talking about the 3D, like running around, like exploring the world, the Arceus game?
Right, it was Arceus.
You're thinking of
Did
Arceus.
This come out after
This came out
Arceus?
after Arceus.
This is more traditional?
In the same year, yes. It's more traditional, but still
Right.
more open than
I
ever.
remember when it ran really bad on Switch.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Splatoon 3 added 10.67 million. That's added. It already has sold a ton. It sold another 10.67 million. Switch Sports jumped to 9.6 million, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe added 8.45 million in the last year alone. That is better than most new games sell, period.
Yeah.
That is more than, we have the story, but I'll just say it. That is more than Horizon Forbidden West has sold as a new game.
That's crazy.
No, we talked about, because I was going to ask, is Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch? No.
No, but it's going to be soon.
Oh, fuck.
Yep, a couple months. Although I don't imagine that many people will buy it there because it's going to run like it's going to be terrible.
Is it a cloud one or is it like
No, it's going to be a real deal game.
Oh,
At least that's what they say. We'll see. Nintendo does say that it's expecting further declines, although it does anticipate bumps from, of course, Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 4, and DLC for Scarlet and Violet. Shuntaro Furukawa, the president, said sustaining the Switch's sales momentum will be difficult in its 7th year. Our goal of selling 15 million units this fiscal year is a bit of a stretch, but we will do our best to bolster demand going into the holiday season so that we can achieve that goal. 15 million, trying to sell 15 million, that's a big number, again, in a 7th year.
Okay, here's my conspiracy theory. And I feel like we've been able to manifest a lot of things on this podcast.
Manifest
True.
I think Tears of the Kingdom is the last hurrah for the Switch. I think after this comes
right.
out, runs its course,
Yep.
it sells really
Pikmin
well.
4 in July, that's right, a small little bump, but yeah.
Right?
What do you
Small
mean,
little
holiday
bump.
new system, you think?
Not holiday new system,
Well,
but
we'll
like
have
March,
news,
spring
we'll have
or
news on
something?
that in a second, but I wanna hear
we'll
what
start
you're
to
thinking.
start to hear about new rumblings of something by next year.
Yep.
They got to have a big like holiday game this year, though. Something. If they don't have a
I would hope
console
so.
coming out
We'll
till next
Well,
year. You know?
I mean, we have the story that they have like an event coming up, right?
Yeah, so let's see. Furukawa said that no new hardware is factored into the company's annual sales forecast. So that runs through March. So he's essentially saying in our forecast, when we say 15 million, we're not saying that that definitely doesn't include a new hardware through March of next year. Now, I still think that there's a strong chance that we hear about a new Switch follow-up before the end of this year. That's a possibility. Who knows? But it does that does what he's saying here does not preclude that from happening. And in terms of when does it actually come out, when does it launch? It probably is, of course, after March for real. Although they could go back on this. This is just saying our current forecast is that the forecast could change if they do decide to launch a system before March. They probably won't. Let's see, Nikkei reported separately, Nikkei is a Japanese news publication, that a new console is coming in fairly hot, saying development seems to be progressing well, but a product won't launch before next spring at the earliest. So that is the ongoing reporting as well, and that makes a lot of sense. I think that this is just what happens, right? Consoles get older, everyone has a Switch, you're selling Switches. You're selling those OLEDs to people that probably already have a Switch. You're selling multiple Switches to people who have multiple people in their family that want to play on the Switch. That's already all mostly happened. And now they're just like, okay, biding their time, going to see what Tears of the Kingdom does. Tears of the Kingdom probably will help it get a long way towards that 15 million number. That Nintendo Switch Zelda OLED is probably going to sell pretty well, things like that. But it is on the way out. Like, this is it. Like, this is probably the last really big year for the Switch as we know it.
I was going to say, if they're looking for something for this holiday, and this is me just guesstimating here, but the thing is, it takes the window from going from theater to Blu-ray now to streamer is very short.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking if it was your traditional like 6 to 8 months to a Blu-ray, they could time out a Mario movie game for when it gets released for home in the holidays. But I mean, that Mario movie is going to wind up on streamers.
We know they're working on some new Mario thing for sure. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But listen, there's definitely rumors out there where like, Mario, Donkey Kong, all
holiday
this other stuff.
games. I would love a Mario Christmas game.
Dude,
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yes, that'd be great. Or
Fucking
like a huge world that's all
Piss on Christmas Night's grave. That's right. Put it in its place.
There we go. He climbs a tree and slides down it.
Yep.
And then
Oh, wait,
the
so
flag.
where Mario is Santa?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Great idea, Bakalar.
Thank you.
Cut the check, Nintendo.
That's what I've been working on. Yeah, the holiday season, Mario and Friends. And
Yule
then-
log.
Yeah.
My Bianca gave me a Christmas gift a year or two ago. It's a red NES cartridge that plays, and it is a Mario 2 Christmas edition thing, and it's a ROM hack.
Oh,
like
cute.
it is like snowing. It's like the actual game though, and he does have like the Santa hat and all that. It's pretty cool.
No. My version's better.
Oh, right. A shoot one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want his fat ass to go down chimneys, delivering.
Instead of pipes, it could just be a chimney.
I mean, what are chimneys if not pipes?
If not, yeah, warp
Right?
pipes.
True, yeah.
They're two-way pipes. Everyone knows.
They're Christian warp pipes. That's all they are.
Exactly. That's how it has to work. That's how the holiday is.
That's beautiful. I think that we probably have to get a Mario game coming up either at the very end. If that is the big holiday game, that's cool. If not, it's probably an early launch game for a follow-up Switch. But you're right, Dan. We're going into this holiday. There's got to be something.
gotta be something.
Something. Now, DLC from Scarlet and Violet will be a pretty big thing for that audience, but I feel like they need to have something on top of that. And I mean, or if they don't, well, then they probably do. They are like using that time to announce the new hardware and just moving us all into that. That's a possibility as well, I guess.
At this point, wouldn't you think that Metroid Prime has to be the next console? Like we haven't heard anything.
Well, I think it's cross-platform. I think they announced. That's why I think Metroid Prime 4 is probably one of those games that does come out like either by next spring or a little bit later, and it launches alongside the next hardware, but also runs on an original Switch. It's retro. They are really good at technology. That would probably be fine. Although I think maybe I would prefer personally for it. Here, I'm split because it would probably run a lot better if it was just on the new hardware. But I want Metroid to sell, and I think a Metroid Prime 4 on a Switch where everyone's excited and it delivers and has a chance to sell 5 million copies or more. That would be really nice.
Yeah, I was also hoping that like Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD would come to the Switch. But like, if the next console is actually like good at backwards compatibility, maybe we could have all of them on that. Like, did the Wii U have like all of them between the Virtual Console? It had both those HD. It
had
had
Wind
Breath of the
Waker,
Wild.
It had a lot of them. Yes, it had Wind Waker and Breath of the Wild. It had Twilight Princess HD. Yeah,
It had like the Game Boy Virtual Console. Like Wii U's got to be the one where you can like legit get the most.
it was
Zelda
for
games,
a
right?
lot of a lot of Nintendo franchises. The Wii U was the place to play most of them.
Yeah.
And now that store's closed.
Now it is dead.
There's no way to play them.
Yeah, well, hey. So Nintendo did update about its software. I do have the list here. We said Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was at 54 million. How many copies sold do you think Animal Crossing New Horizons has? These are the top 10 best-selling Nintendo Switch games, by the way. This is number 2.
Of Switch all time.
Of all time.
35.
I was going to say
Animal
30.
Crossing, I was going to say 22.
Let's go with 42.2.
Wow. That was pandemic game.
That was the beginning.
It was
of the
the
pandemic.
pandemic.
But the biggest bummer here is that I feel like it hasn't gotten any support.
No.
Like 0 to nothing.
Right? They did that first year of stuff that was like probably planned beforehand and maybe a little bit extra, but you're right.
It wasn't great.
They had like an additional island. I think we did a quick look of it.
It's like they added the pipes that you could use to warp.
Christian
subs. What?
Christian
Christian
Pipes.
Oh
Pipes.
yeah, Christian pipes. Yes,
sick,
yes.
sick.
They had merch at the Nintendo World Store in New York for it.
Well, yeah, like,
Yeah.
People show up for that. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. This is number 3. So you're gonna it's start bringing things down a little bit.
yeah, 30,
28.
31.09 million. So about 30. Yeah, that's right. You guys are right in that right range. Breath of the Wild is number 4. What do you guys think? That's done?
25.
It is getting right there to 30 million. 29.81 million.
Nintendo's really good at this.
Breath of the Wild, that is far and away the best-selling Zelda game.
Really?
By a huge amount.
Hell
Yes,
yeah.
by a
That's
huge
awesome.
amount. Pokemon Sword and Shield.
This is around the 20 mark.
This is, how you guys have a guess?
I don't know.
25.82 million. Super Mario Odyssey.
20?
Oh, it's not. It's
should be
this
more.
low. It should be
17?
a lot more.
Now, it
21.
It is 25.76 million. Anything over 25 million is a massive success.
I know.
How does that compare to other Marios like Galaxies?
It's also got to be the best selling.
Really?
Once
Okay,
it's
great.
like Super Mario Brothers. Like Super Mario Brothers was a packing game. It would have been everywhere.
more than like 3?
I think 3 might have been more. You're right, but like modern Mario games, especially like any 3, like by far the best selling 3D Mario game without even
Like 64? Just
yes, without even a question. Yes, that's
Everyone had 64.
I think,
Wow.
but I think
It's more
this-
than 3.
I think this is more. Super Mario Odyssey at 25 million might be more copies sold of that than N64 sold.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
shit.
You know, I'm glad to hear that because it kind of bummed me out back in the day when, during the Wii generation, I remember reading that the new Super Mario Brothers Wii, which at that point, the new thing, the novelty was kind of over and it didn't feel as creative. And I was like, I heard that sold way more than Galaxy. And I remember thinking like, oh no, I hope they're not doing away with the single player, big, ambitious, mainline Mario series, you know?
That is fucking crazy. There's 33 million Nintendo 64s.
Okay, so it's just behind that.
Basically.
Yes, it's right there. I
Wow.
Isn't that insane?
33 million 64s globally?
Yeah.
Yes.
33 million.
The market for video games was smaller, and the N64 wasn't as successful as PlayStation.
Yeah, the audience was smaller.
Yeah,
Think about it.
the total audience was just smaller.
Everyone had 64.
Yes, but not your your parents have a 64.
How much was GameCube? GameCube might be the one that was like 25 million.
250?
It's like 25 million.
No. Oh, I thought you were saying how much did it sell for?
No,
okay.
yeah.
GameCube's was just under 22 million.
Yeah.
Really?
What about the Wii U?
I think
That is 15 million, I think.
Yee. Virtual Boy.
That's like less than one.
Oh, Wii U.
Less than one?
So Wii
Less
was
than 1 million? Yes, I think so. I think that's like 800,000, I think.
Wii was
yeah.
101 million. Wii U is 13.5 million.
Yep, 13. Okay, 13. Jeez. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is already at the 22 that we talked about. Super Mario Party is the 7th best-selling. This is not Mario Party Superstars
I know, where's
either.
that at?
That's coming up fast.
It's not waiting for you, dude.
19.14 million.
No, I'm clapping because that means I'll get more if they keep selling well.
Super Mario Party at 19.14 million is about as good as a Marvel Spider-Man game sells.
Oh my god!
Like, no joke.
Hell yeah!
Putting that into scale, Jesus.
Yeah, it's definitely also more than like a Last of Us. It's more than yes.
And this is like deep on. This is like mini
honestly,
down on their list.
It's about twice as well as a Last of Us Part 2. It's sold twice as many copies as a Last of Us Part 2. Super Mario Party.
It breaks my brain.
New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe. This is the port of the 2D one. So this shows that there is still a lot of demand for that 2D because this is a port of a 2D one. 15.41 million.
Jesus.
And then Ring Fit Adventure is the number 10 best-selling Switch game.
What?
Oh, the exercise games from Nintendo always do well.
It's a good one.
15.38 million. Again,
really good at
50% more than Last of Us Part 2.
What? Jesus. Why don't they
And that
make
game's
more
$80.
games?
That game's $80.
Quality over
like
quantity. Quality over quantity.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. And I mean, look, and that's also.
Well, okay, it's not quality over quantity because there's 2 Pokemon games on there.
Sure.
The other thing too is that these games are never discounted.
And they're very affordable. They get produce them very cheaply, which is not the right word, but that's you know what I mean.
So like Last of Us gets to a point where it's like $10 sometimes,
And it costs $200 million to
right?
make.
And it still is only 50%.
Now that's Sony's PlayStation, a very profitable business.
Sure.
Nintendo's profits $6.6 billion, and that was down year over year. That's for the year. So I mean,
scrubs.
They are running an operation that where they know how to make a lot of money and they know how to sell a lot of games. And they are probably going to announce new hardware here in the next calendar year or a little bit more than that. New Mario, and we're going to be coming off of a Tears of the Kingdom that is almost certainly going to be the biggest launch of the generation as long as everything goes according to plan.
And an extremely successful movie starring the face of Nintendo.
Yep. They're in a strong place.
They are fucking killing it right now.
Very strong 3 out of 5 Mario movie.
Yes.
Sure.
The most 3 out of 5.
That was Jan's thought, not mine.
I said it.
You said it. I don't want to take credit for it, but you're exactly right.
Go ahead. That doesn't need to get.
No, I feel like it's been a minute since we've had the conversation about the next Switch. And I don't know, maybe it's not as exciting as it could be, but I think about it a lot where it's very clear the shortcomings that the Switch sort of suffers from.
You're not wrong. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why it's slowed down a little bit more than they were expecting. I think Nintendo's was like, hey, it's still that system that everyone loved, and everyone's like, it feels a little bit older than it did last year.
Totally. But I don't fundamentally think aesthetic-wise that it leaps in a wildly different direction.
No, I mean, I think the conventional wisdom here is that the Switch 2 is just a Switch 2.
Right.
And I think that's right. Now, it's Nintendo, so they could do anything.
Sure.
Nintendo hasn't tried to keep up with the Joneses on a technical basis since the GameCube generation. So it's not going to be par with.
No, but
that's the scary thing. Is they always try to do something out of whack, and they try to do something different.
But I think the temperature is much more specific now, where it's no, you just need to give us a more powerful.
my hope here and my thinking is that they are working very closely with NVIDIA. They announced a 20-year partnership with NVIDIA at the beginning of the Switch life cycle, so we're 7 years into that. And NVIDIA is going to be like, yeah, I mean, listen, Nintendo, we know you're going to Nintendo. Go do your weird stuff.
Sure.
But here is the same hardware, way more powerful, way more efficient, that has all of these awesome software and hardware gimmicks that we could throw in here, like DLSS and frame generation and all these things that we've been working on the PC side. And the more developers that use this stuff on your system, it's going to be better for us on PC. So we're happy to throw all this stuff on top at a reasonable price. How do you feel about that, Nintendo? And we know that we can produce this stuff at quantity because you're going to sell probably another 125 million of these next systems. So we're willing to give a deal. I think NVIDIA kind of drags them a little bit, just a little bit. They're not going to change the trajectory of what a Nintendo is, but I think they can be like, well, let's rein you in. Like, let's give you the hardware that makes the most sense. Just let us do that. I think that probably does happen.
So I know that the OLED was developed also to kind of satiate the desire for a new Switch. Do you think that was also a test of whether or not people would still continue to want that form factor? Because yes, you could dock the OLED Switch, but the point of it is just to play it because of the OLED screen. So what I'm getting at is Switch 2, whatever the next console is it going to be the same form factor of like a handheld?
I think it will be. I don't think they are interested in making that a exclusively docked console, if you will, like a traditional console.
Is there a world though where like the dock part of it is minimized, or it's just like an HDMI out on the system with maybe a little stand instead of the fully like powered?
Maybe.
I could see the big change being a wireless sort of HDMI signal that enables them. That enables them to do dual screen stuff is what I think.
Right, but like the second you introduce wireless shenanigans,
well, I mean,
feel like
that stuff's getting better. Maybe they've maybe
but like wireless HDMI.
Sure. Listen, as long as it's all figured out, if it's any sort of experience anywhere close to what the Wii U was like.
I mean, you could sneeze in between a Wii U and a TV.
Exactly. If it's like that, then no, thank you. I just think if they're going to go for a gimmick and they figured that out, that might be it. Otherwise, the real reality here is they had multiple development teams that would work on Game Boy games and DS games and then their home console games. And now those are all one teams. They all have to work on the same stuff. And so it's like, because of that, they are sort of limited by, well, we can't have a home console because we're definitely 100% going to have a handheld because of Pokemon. There's no world in which we don't have a handheld.
So it's always going to wear those two hats.
So if we're going to make a console, it's got to be able to be a handheld, and that means I think this form factor, they're handcuffed to it in a way that I think they are happy to be handcuffed to.
I think it'd be silly not to. The gimmick works exactly the way we all wanted it to.
And the playbook is so obvious almost too. Like it's already written of like, you got to fix your Joy-Con bullshit. You gotta like make sure those things are just not wonky and weird and fucking annoying and acting misbehaving and whatnot. And like that's kind of it.
Yep, you're still getting friend codes.
Yeah, well, whatever. I don't think that ship will ever turn around and like magically work. But yeah.
All right, let's stick with some Nintendo news for a little bit. Nintendo Live 2023 in Seattle gets event dates. Nintendo is going to hold this in-person themed event on September 1st through September 4th. That put it's completely concurrent with PAX West, which means if you're in Seattle and you're hanging out for PAX West, dip on over as long as you're able to get free tickets, which you'll have to register for. Registration begins May 31st. You got to go to the Nintendo Live website, sign up with your Nintendo account, and they'll get you free tickets. But then, you can go to this thing, and apparently it's going to have hands-on time with video games, but then they're going to have themed rides, I guess. Probably smaller, like they're going to have attractions, and it's going to be a pop-up thing. It sounds like a very good time. Now, here's the question that I come back to with this thing. This sounds fun. I want to go to it. We'll see. We'll see if we can get out to PAX West. That'd be great. But why is Nintendo doing this unless they have a big game coming out in the holidays, right?
Right.
Because we're going to be pretty far removed from Tears of the Kingdom at that point.
Yeah, whenever they would do those gimmicks where it's like, hey, we got a bus that's going around the nation and it's going to have 6 kiosks in there and it's all our big games of the year. Like, but it's all like new games. They're not like, here's shit that came out 6 months ago.
And sometimes it was like, they were scraping the bottom of the barrel sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't always the most. It wasn't always
Wii U.
Zelda.
It was a lot of
Mario.
Wii U stuff, yeah.
Totally, yeah. But like, they gotta have something that they're willing to show.
This definitely comes out of the budget that was doing E3 stuff, right? Because they would put on those big themed booths at E3.
Oh, yeah.
And now this is in Seattle. This is clearly the Treehouse Nintendo of America team using that budget, doing something else with it. So do you think this is maybe happening under its own momentum of like, we have the people, we have the money, we have to do something with it? Or do you think there's a game behind it trying to convince them that this is worth it?
I just don't know what the game would be.
Yeah,
Arms 2?
that's a good one.
Feet.
Yeah.
Feet. There we go.
No.
Arms 2 : feet.
No.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I think that the other question is, are they going to have a June Direct? That's still up in the air. I haven't heard one way or the other. But if they do, I think they can announce a big game. Maybe it's something that comes out this holiday,
yeah.
and then that's the stuff that they're showing off at a Nintendo Live.
Blink's the time sweeper.
And they bought it from Xbox.
Yes.
Phil Spencer he's like, man, this is too much game for us.
Yeah.
Am I remembering right that there was there ever any rumors of like a full scale like Donkey Kong game?
Yes.
Like there was. Okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the big rumors is that and it's hard to pin down. There are a lot of competing rumors about that. Oh, it's going to be 2D. It's going to be 3D. It was in the works at Activision, and then Nintendo took it over. And one of like Toys R Bob or something was working on it. In the same way that Nintendo works with a lot of partners
Sure.
on right.
I wouldn't want that. Yeah.
Well, Toys R Bob's very good.
I haven't played their stuff, but I would want like first party Nintendo Donkey
Sure,
Kong,
but that sounds like what it turned into, if that rumor is true.
Sure. Okay.
So it's like, a Mario game, a Donkey Kong game. Either way, what rumor is, it's the Mario team. Like that
and
made
that
Mario
team
Odyssey.
hasn't done anything since they did Bowser's Fury.
Bowser's
right?
Fury, which is probably it's got to be a bit of a distraction. It's causing a little bit extra time. At least I think that's the team that did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking good.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. So we are far removed from like the last real Mario game. We are getting the next Zelda game. The last time that we got either of those, if we're not counting Bowser's Fury, there was a Mario and a Zelda in the same year. So we'll see. We'll see. Other Nintendo news, it is losing its mind about Tears of the Kingdom piracy. It has begun going after a lot of emulation developers and the people that produce the keys to basically do Switch emulation. So there's these tools where you can use to dump the keys from a Switch, and then you can turn your Switch into a little not an emulation thing, but you could run pirated games. They've gone after that stuff. This has scared away some developers of what are likely legal and completely legit Switch emulators, but the Skyline emulator for Android, they're running, and like I think they might have got a cease and desist letter. But emulators are legal as long as they do it the right way. They are not taking any risks. They're done. They're not going to do it. They don't want to fuck with Nintendo, and Nintendo's out there throwing their weight around. They're throwing their weight around so much that they're also like getting some false positives. They banned Alana Pierce from Twitch for watching someone else's Tears of the Kingdom preview.
I just don't understand.
For watching?
Existing footage.
Yes.
It was SkillUp's YouTube video of him being invited by Nintendo to go see the game at the event that you guys went to. He had some footage. He put it on his YouTube channel. That's up there. You're allowed to watch it.
Wait, so it wasn't even footage of the leak?
It was not leaked at all. It is publicly available.
Just
100
her reaction to
Her
watching
reaction
To not to a
video.
leak. She's not watching
She
or
is not
reacting to a leak.
She is not watching a leak. She is watching someone else's approved by Nintendo
Right.
preview.
It'd be like someone watching like our thing. And
Yeah.
Yes. But
Wow.
So fine, that happens. Where's the justification? Like what?
It's clearly them just not caring about making mistakes because they're so worried about the leaks. They're so worried about the piracy.
But
They
like,
don't seem like the type of company to overreact to
Of
something.
course not. This is why it's news.
Out of character.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wouldn't expect this of them.
I'm just surprised. Like Alana's still banned. Like the.
No,
I
I
think-
think she got unbanned.
She probably got unbanned by
so
now.
so they were just like
It was always going to be
trigger
temporary. Like these bans on Twitch are usually temporary.
Yeah.
But she was in the middle of watching it and got banned.
So if we streamed out us watching our own video,
happy. We could get
That'd be-
banned.
we could get banned.
It's bannable.
If I put that
Potentially.
video on right now
Right.
on my laptop,
let's fucking go.
No.
Yeah.
I don't have the time to untangle this.
Yeah, that is just so.
I mean, clearly Nintendo. I mean, that was why my headline was Nintendo's losing their mind, right? That's what it feels like.
They've
They
lost
are.
their
They've been insane the whole
Yes.
time.
And then,
but,
like, of
yeah.
course, this was all good. We all knew this was going to happen with this game. It was going to leak. It was going to break street date. Someone was going to get that. They were going to dump it online. Then all the pirates are going to be playing it. And then Nintendo was going to just begin throwing hands at anybody that was stood in front of them, and everyone was going to catch them.
Yeah,
here we are.
I think I saw because I follow the Costco subreddit as everyone does.
Yeah, of course.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think like a Costco broke street date for Tears of the Kingdom. And then I think like that post immediately got deleted.
I bet. I bet it did.
Yeah.
what happened to that Costco though?
It's
Nuked.
a parking lot now.
Yeah. There's no onions.
It's just obsidian. It's like,
Yeah.
what fireball
Missed a lot
descended
of
upon this?
deliveries. I
No
bet.
Caesar salad,
Fury
no
Bowser.
onions, no Costco.
I
Just
love
Fury
it.
Doug Bowser, yeah.
Jack Black just walked up to
Yeah.
her.
Just literally put a big tarp over it. It's done.
All right.
My hot dogs.
Yeah.
Some other news here. Let's see. Where was I after this Nintendo news? PlayOn is restructuring a number of its acquisitions. What is Play On?
I was gonna.
Wait, Play On? Oh no, that's on live.
That's right. It's not on live. There's no.
Is this some Tommy Tallarico thing?
No.
Is this a material they put on pans?
That's a good guess.
Teflon.
Play On was
Teflon.
much known as, you have the beep button, as Cock Media.
I'm sorry?
Cock Media.
Oh,
Oh, he's hitting the beep, I'm sure.
KOCH?
K-O-C-H. I think
those guys.
it's
All right.
German, so I think it's Koch Media.
I thought it was Coke.
I don't think it's actually Koch. When it's German, I think it is Koch.
Depending on how cock comes out of your mouth, it's like
It's,
cock.
yeah, depending on how the cock comes out of your mouth.
Right.
That's what's going to make a difference there.
Wow.
It is
Going out of your mouth.
Yeah, the cock out of your mouth.
They are restructuring 3 of their labels. Ravenscourt, Prime Matter, and Deep Silver will all be disbanded and brought together under Play On.
Is Cock Media basically like the company in Succession, where it's just this huge
Waystar?
super Waystar Royco, where it's like they own a bunch
Embracer Group is that.
But they're outside of games too, right? Like, don't they do?
There's probably that. Like the people that own Embracer probably are doing stuff outside of games
You don't
as
know
well.
Cock Media. I feel like weren't they a thing like way outside of video games too?
You're thinking of the. I think you're thinking of the David
brothers.
the Koch brothers.
I think that's what I'm thinking.
Yes, and yes, they are. They're like oil
They're
barons.
big.
And,
Yeah,
yes,
that's what I'm
exactly. Yeah,
thinking of.
exactly.
Okay.
They own a lot of. Like,
And they
yeah.
definitely are the success.
That's what I was thinking.
100%.
100%.
Okay.
And didn't they actually take it over from their dad or something like
Oh.
that? Maybe I think so.
Any-
I think one of
uh,
them's dead too.
yeah,
Is
one
it
of
the
them
same
is,
family at all, or any cross the Coke Media?
They're no. This is completely unrelated.
Uncock-related, yeah.
Yes.
All right. Different cocks. All right.
So Deep Silver is known for Dead Island. They've done a lot of stuff.
Sure.
The Saints Row games. They no longer. They will now just be part of Play On, along with Ravenscourt and Prime Matter. Prime Matter is a newer studio. I don't know if they put out much yet. Ravenscourt does family-friendly sim games, but this just feels like one of these things that was going to happen with this acquisition, where Saints Row didn't do very well, and Dead Island. Okay, Dead Island came. It seems like it did pretty well, but it's too little, too late, and so now everyone's got to sort of get mingled together, and we're going to restructure this just because that's the only thing that we can think of to do to make this thing profitable. Embracer Group, which is the parent company of Play On, owns a ton of stuff, and everyone's always been wondering this entire time, how are they going to make money from this? How does this make sense business wise? You've just been acquiring. And it's like, well, you know what? It seems like they never really figured out that side of it. It was they were getting bigger, and we'll figure it out later. And now here they are. They got to make money now, and they haven't figured it out later. And these studios are paying the price. All right. For Bison, Horizon West.
For Biden.
For Biden.
favorite Bubsy game.
Horizon Forbidden West has sold nearly as well as The Last of Us Part 2. Guerrilla revealed it has sold 8.4 million copies. That puts it behind God of War Ragnarok's 11 million in 4 months. It's also behind The Last of Us Part 2's 10 million over 2 years, but that's 2 years, and Last of Us, Horizon Forbidden West isn't that old.
Also behind the last 2 Mario parties.
And behind the 13 million copies of Luigi's Mansion 3, of course. So that's pretty good. People were like, oh, it's up there, but it's not on the same echelon as A Last of Us. No, it's right there. It is right there with The Last of Us. I think it's easy to overlook Horizon. I do. But I think it's easy because it always comes out right next to some other big game. So it's like,
the greatest games of all time.
Yeah, I'm sure, whatever. It's not doing as well as the other game, and it's usually not. But it's still doing really well, especially compared to other games, first-party games from PlayStation.
People like boring stuff sometimes.
I think it's boring too. What do I say? Like,
Boring ass series.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I got no dig.
No dig. No.
What can I say? I agree with that. Sony is shutting down a studio. Concrete Genie Studio is ending its run. Here is what they posted on Twitter.
Concrete Genie?
Yeah, they developed Concrete Genie. As we look to new futures, we wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to the millions of passionate players who have supported us and our mission to make beautiful, imaginative games with heart. We are so grateful. Separately, in a statement to IGN, Sony said, PlayStation Studios regularly evaluates its portfolio and the status of studio projects to ensure that they meet the organization's short and long-term strategic objectives. As part of a recent review process, it has been decided that Pixel Opus, the developer, will close on June 2nd. I think Sony's still in that mode where they are min-maxing, where they are like, hey, this studio has had success. We're going to do more of that. We're going to do a lot more Horizon because Horizon's selling. And then Japan studios, well, they're not really doing a lot of stuff that's sold a long time. Close them down. And it's like, well, okay, we're past that. It's like, well, now Pixel Opus, like Concrete Genie, that's, people, they reviewed well enough. People talked about it, and then they didn't talk about it, and then it didn't sell. And now that studio's shutting down. That's, I think it makes sense for where Sony's at, where they were trying to make sure that every single thing they do is a big hit. PlayStation probably has deals for Konami's upcoming games. Multiple people are reporting that Sony has an exclusivity deal for Konami's upcoming slate of games. That includes the previously announced Silent Hill 2 remake, but it also includes the unannounced Castlevania and Metal Gear projects. I've heard this as well.
Are we motorcycles? What's happening?
You like Castlevania?
Yeah.
Marty, you like Castlevania?
Yeah, I
that
agree,
was
Marty.
funny.
Almost
Me too.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah. Symphony of the Night, or do you like the NES ones?
Circle of the moon.
I know. He's a big dumb idiot, isn't he?
You're a good boy.
Anyway, I've heard this as well. And I think it's probably true. I think we probably find out about one, if not both of these deals at a PlayStation showcase that is happening soonish, because I've heard this as well. I've been able to mostly confirm, as much as you confirm something that is going to happen in the future and could move still, but as much as you could confirm it, the week of May 25th is the next PlayStation showcase.
Getting ahead of the Summer Games Fest stuff.
Yes, and that's been the plan for a while, and they've stuck with it. That's why I'm feeling pretty confident about it. But having that date now,
Should that be this month?
it's going to be probably the last Thursday of the month. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yes,
Listen,
May 25th turns out to be this month.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
May 25th. It is that week. It could come on a Tuesday or Wednesday. It's probably going to be that Thursday though. So May 25th itself. This is a showcase. This is not a PlayStation State of Play.
What's the difference?
So it's basically their E3. For the last several years, they haven't been in E3. They would
So
have.
this is gonna be long.
It's going to be their big boy showcase where
May.
Yes, May.
You hear that? This month.
That's this month.
This month.
Yeah.
So-
So you think they'll announce it way ahead of time, or because some State of Plays, they'll be like, "Hey, join us tomorrow." You know?
So I think because it's a showcase, they will. I think they're going to announce it probably a week ahead of time. But
Okay.
Man.
But they might not. They might not.
Soon.
I don't know. But
Get ready.
But like a State of Play is they can come in like we don't have any first party stuff. We should have some partner games,
Right.
or we do have some first party stuff, but it's like 20 minutes.
Sure.
And it's like it feels kind of like a diet direct. And these showcases have all been pretty much big bangers with a lot of big announcements, a lot of stuff to get very excited about. And they wanted to do this. When I first heard about it, they wanted to do this at the end of last year, or near the end of last year. A lot of the studios weren't ready at the time. They didn't have their games in a state where they could show it or get an asset ready to show it quick enough. And that stuff is very time consuming these days. It distracts from developers working on completely unrelated things to even make a CGI trailer, let alone a gameplay trailer. Sony definitely likes gameplay trailers, so they gave them a lot of extra time. Here we are. It does sound like they're going to get everything ready, and it's going to be a pretty big deal. And you think about it. Sony needs this because we are past God of War Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
We know Spider-Man 2 is coming. We know Wolverine's coming, but then what's after those? Two games from Insomniac? What is everyone else doing? Well, it's time to find out.
Is Wolverine exclusive?
Yes, very much
really?
so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Snicked.
Nice.
This year?
Next year.
Okay.
Yeah. At least I think they've confirmed. If they haven't, that's what I heard. It could be as early as next year. It could be a little bit longer.
Metal
than that.
Gear. It's gonna be Metal Gear.
It's gonna be Metal Gear. I mean, but so Konami showing up there. I mean, does that sound right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
Yes.
because it's
Yes.
been a while since we've heard of even the Silent Hill stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got to get updates on. You're right. We got to get updates on that.
Dude, if
I would
Konami
like-
just came back, that would be awesome.
And that's the thing. As part of hearing about this, is Sony was facilitating the return of a lot of these games, which is where the exclusivity comes from.
Right.
Probably means pretty long-term exclusivity, if not exactly what the Final Fantasy VII remake, which seems to be a permanent exclusive, at least permanently not on Xbox. That might happen here, but those details aren't available.
2 questions. Death Stranding 2, is that this year?
I think so.
And is,
Maybe no. Is it next year? I think it's next
okay.
year.
Was
don't
Death Stranding
remember.
I can't believe Dan
exclusive?
just asked that question.
Well, no, I like Death Stranding.
I know,
I'm not
I-
Metal
I-
Gear obsessed with
I
it.
know now you do.
Was Death Stranding and 2, are they exclusive to Sony?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if Sony's working with Konami.
They're on
No,
PC.
Death Stranding's
It's on
PC.
Yeah, yeah.
It's on PC.
Oh, but Sony. Okay,
So
it's not on Xbox.
Sony owns the copyright to Death Stranding, and like when you go on Steam, you could see that they're listed as the
okay.
copyright owner and stuff like that. So they're involved very much with Death Stranding.
Sony's working with Konami, and Sony works with Kojima.
So yeah,
Is
that's
there any chance
So that was
guy's red yarn out.
always
You want Sony to parent trap?
Yes,
Konami.
exactly.
I don't know if I do
Kojima.
because I'm fine with Metal Gear being done because like we told the story. I guess
did.
I just want
Yes,
the
we
you know
did.
what? I think this is, just do the remakes, do Snake Eater, and then let Kojima keep doing his weird shit with Death Stranding. Maybe that's the best case scenario.
I think the good news for you is that's almost certainly what's going to happen.
Okay.
I don't think even Sony can bridge that gap.
because I don't even want him to do more Metal Gear.
Right. That was always that was always the rumor that
that's what you want, man.
That when people started hearing about this, they started doing that math as well.
okay.
Like if anyone gets Sony back together with or Konami together with Kojima to make more Metal Gear, it's going to be Sony. So that's what's happening. Or when the Silent Hill rumors were also swirling around with this, they were like, "Oh, he's working on a new Silent Hill," and it's that
Silent Hills PT or
yeah, but it was like that weird game that turned out to be a huge
Boktai? The sun is in your hands?
No, not a Kojima game at all. It was like a fake game. It doesn't matter. But it, like,
wait, what? What fake game?
I'm not gonna be able to remember the name of it.
Wait, what?
Describe it.
It was it got a PlayStation blog, and it was this weird.
Oh, did that game ever come out? The weird, like, everyone thinks it's Silent Hills, and they
Yes.
took a number out of the trailer.
Yes, and I was like at the time, I'm like, guys, this is not Kojima. Kojima's a different
Blue Box,
Yes,
or something.
Blue
yeah.
Box,
and they
yes.
were leaning
Abandoned.
into it.
Thank you.
Abandoned, yeah, and they were leaning into it in a way where it's like, shut up, guys.
Yes.
This
So
okay,
at the time when that was happening, this was happening concurrently with the early parts of the rumors of Sony
wow.
going to
Okay.
Konami. And then they're like, well, then clearly this is that, and this is them, and this is the Silent Hills, and it's all happening. And it's like there was a lot of mistakes there where none of that was happening.
They were way worse at that than like when Kojima was doing the like Joaquin Mogren.
Oh, it was
Phantom
embarrassing.
stuff.
Well, because they're actually really bad. Abandoned's not a real game. It never was.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. But the Joaquin Mogren stuff, God, I think so fondly of that. Of just like premiering a game at the Video Game Awards and not saying it's fucking Metal Gear Solid. People figured it out in like 6 hours.
Not saying that it was like Kojima, right, at first or whatever. Like, because
No, it was Joaquin Mogren. A guy with Band-Aids on his face, and Keeley
Band-Aids,
interviewed him.
yeah,
It was fucking
bandages.
hilarious.
Yes.
And all these media types were like, this is irresponsible. Like, no, it's fucking hilarious.
No, it's rules.
It's so funny
It
and cool.
ruled.
Yes. I fucking love it.
And I love the part, like, months later, Kojima was just fine. I think Kojima got a little bit sucked into that Bandit thing where they're like, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know if you're a real game, fine, whatever. I'll listen to what you have to talk about there. But later, eventually, it was just like, the people that thought I was doing that again, I would never do the same gimmick again.
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that. It's like, yeah, you know what? I knew that. Of course you weren't. Yeah. So
He'll innovate.
I think that Kojima will never work with Konami again.
Of course.
I'm fine
No,
with
no,
that.
yeah.
You know, it seems like he's getting a budget.
Yes.
With what he's doing
he's
now.
made
so-
so many friends
Yep.
since he's left Konami.
Oh,
You're right.
Very famous.
Jordan
friends.
Peele.
Yep.
He loves Lea Seydoux.
Was Death Stranding a success?
But yeah, I think it turned into one over time and not
Okay.
very long amount of time. I think it was probably initially underwhelming to Sony that paid for it, and then it kept picking up pace, and the director's cut did well, and the PC version did very well. It has ended up selling, through that early part where it was had a high enough price, 5 million copies. That's pretty good for a new IP.
I can't imagine seeing Death Stranding as underwhelming and then over time coming to appreciate it. I don't really.
No, that's never happened to anybody.
I don't think so. No.
No one was
Especially
like
not at
telling.
this table.
No one would go up to one of the voice actors and say, "I think your game's 4 out of 10."
That sounds so much more aggressive. He asked me and I didn't want to tell him. And he kept asking
No, I
me.
like my version better.
No.
Your game's a 4 out
I
of
felt
10.
very bad, and then I felt his soul leave when I
Because he
told
kept
him the
asking you,
score.
right?
Yeah, he did. And then his wife, her whole demeanor changed. It was very awkward.
I know, I
And then
love
me
that
and Mahardy
story.
went over and talked to Helen Mirren.
That's right. That's right. Wait, her son worked on the game. or
Yeah, you
something?
like the music or something on it.
I love that story. It's
Very
one of my
awkward.
favorites. Yeah, but now what would you give it?
Death Stranding?
Yeah.
Oh man, out of 10, I'd give it a.
We have to go back. You have to go back and tell.
I'd give it an 8.5.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
strong game.
On the WoW scale?
Wow. It's more like a thinking wow.
Yeah. Wow. I heard that. The
Yeah.
consideration in that.
What you
Wow.
think this one? Yeah.
Starfield is getting an M rating because of jetpack sex. The ESRB has rated Starfield. It is M for mature for violence, foul language, sex, and drug use. The violence will feature futuristic guns, lasers, axes, and explosives. As for the sex, expect some suggestive material in the dialogue after sharing a bed with characters. They gave an example of one of the lines. I'm all for getting a little wild, but next time let's try it without the jetpacks.
Wow.
Is this like the Days Gone wedding?
It feels like the Days Gone wedding. I promise you to ride you like I do my jetpack.
Are we not going to like it because we're a bunch of like soft pussies or whatever?
Yeah,
the director said?
I'm far too much of a soft pussy to enjoy this game.
I
Absolutely.
mean, we opened the show by eating pastry.
That is true. That is-
Can't argue with that.
and doing our friendship pulses. Or Okay, listen. I think any sort of video game writing, no matter the best video game writing, out of context in an ESRB thing, is going to sound dumb. This sounds fucking dumb. But we'll see. I'm still ready for Starfield.
Choice to use that as the sample, but
I mean, I think they at a certain point these companies know that they have to like hand them the thing that is the most explicit, and if that's the most explicit, all right,
then cool. Yeah, M rating you get.
Last thing here. This happened last week. We talked a lot about it on Game List Mornings, but figure we'll cap it off here. Phil Spencer did an interview with Kinda Funny's Xcast. He touched on a lot of big topics. Where the big one that got a lot of talk in the days afterward was a phrase, and he said, "We're just making great games. Won't change the Xbox console market share." He was in context, which is I think the only way we should really talk about it. Because I think it's the fair way. Although a lot of people are like, made it sound like he was saying this is why we're not going to make great games, and what he was really trying to say is this is why we're not fighting the console war of yore. We're not thinking about things of like, here's how we're going to beat PlayStation. What he really meant is like, we're making great games to grow Xbox. But his reasoning was because people aren't going to sell their PS5s even if a Starfield comes out and is an 11 out of 10. Yeah. And I think that's probably right. His big reasoning was last generation was the worst generation to lose because that's when everyone built their digital libraries that have now continued over, and that momentum is impossible to overcome. If you have 50 to 500 games that you've purchased digitally or that you've acquired through PlayStation Plus, is anyone really going to swap? Now, you don't have to swap, but that he was talking specifically about the market share and winning that battle and being number one. And he's like, we're not thinking about it that way, and that's why. And that's probably correct, right?
Yeah, I never thought about it in terms of that like digital library thing. Because like once you're invested on that level, it's like, well, I want access to my games.
Right. It's like something like I've definitely heard him say something along those lines before, and I'm like, yeah, that of course. You think about that digital library. It's like, yeah, that explains everything. But having him so explicitly say it,
sure,
I think it was kind of eye opening for a lot of people.
You think he hangs out with Don Matrick?
I think I bet he's given Don Matrick a call maybe once in the last 10 years, maybe. Sure. Yeah.
I'd be pretty upset about that.
I mean, the point you're making is that it's like a refreshing amount of transparency, right?
Well, I think that
that and the Redfall conversation, right?
Yeah. So there was a lot here. I think that Phil Spencer is good at this, but I think being good at apologizing and being good about being transparent doesn't go a long way. And he said that too. That's why he's good at this. Because he's like, my words shouldn't mean a lot to you. The next thing I have here is he's very enthusiastic about the Xbox Showcase happening June 11th as part of where E3 would have been right after Summer Game Fest. Mm-hmm. He's enthusiastic about it. And he immediately followed that up by saying, my words shouldn't mean anything to you because after Redfall, I know that you're going to want to have your hands on the controller before you decide to be excited about anything that we're putting out. And you're right, Phil. That's absolutely true. You're good at understanding that. But at a certain point, being very good at apologizing is not being very good at making video games. Like, when does that gap get bridged? When is that going to happen? Maybe it is Starfield. It was not Redfall, though. No. He did apologize for disappointing fans with Redfall, and he did say that Arcane will continue to work on the game similar to the way that Rare worked on Sea of Thieves. I don't think it's a good idea, but what choice do they have?
I mean, I don't. It's interesting how much in recent years that we've seen things that had like disastrous launches, like have a big time turnaround. Like Destiny had a failure, like that had all sorts of problems. Dude, at the beginning, it was so sparse. The amount of content, it was a lot of grindy. Like, people were pissed about Destiny when it came out. And then Sea of Thieves, kind of the same thing. It's like, it's just kind of empty. And then they really did invest in it. And as far as I understand, it's popular and people like it now, right? Like, but I wonder, like, is the Redfall launch, is that on a different tier of bad launch?
I think it's this tier system that we're exactly right. Because if you look at it, if we be completely the most fair to Microsoft, they have Age of Empires. A lot of people playing that. That's a good game. Pentiment. That's a good game. I really liked Hi-Fi Rush. Very good game. Probably could even be considered. Could even be considered during to be a AAA game. If we want to be fair, they charge $30 for it. But I still think it's as good as any other AAA game. But they position it as something less than in a tier below. Redfall is their first $70 game. It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like the kickoff into quarterly major, very high quality releases that they've been talking about wanting to do for a very long time. None of these other games were that. They were something else, and they're awesome to have, and they are very good at those kinds of games. Microsoft a couple years ago had like the highest rating on Metacritic. Very well done. It was games like Flight Simulator, which I like. I want more of those games. But the question has been and continues to be: can Microsoft compete with the Nintendos and the Sonys on big AAA? Even the biggest budget first party single player games or first party multiplayer games. And so far, that answer to that has been no.
Trying to think, like in terms of like big first party Microsoft stuff, have they announced the Gears 6 or
No,
is it just
no. It was weird for a while. They were working on other things in the meantime while they were getting up to speed with Unreal, and they were going to release 2 other smaller projects. They've canceled both those. They're working on Gears 6 now, but that's still going to take some time.
Okay, and then like Halo, it seems like that was ultimately kind of not a failure, but like people were kind of pissed by the end, right?
It was a very good game that did not have anywhere near the content that it needed to be the game that it wanted to be. And so people ended up feeling very bummed out about it.
I know that's
now, it's in a better place now for people who stuck with it. That's a very small number, though.
It's tough because like I feel like PlayStation was always known as having the bigger exclusives and first party stuff, but Xbox would at least lean on like, well, we got Halo, we got Gears, in different genre, Forza and stuff like that. But like Halo and Gears, like Gears has been kind of absent for a bit. Halo Infinite didn't set the world on fire.
Hey,
like
Forza Motorsport's coming out this year. I bet that's going to be a very good game. But
yeah, but it's for a very specific. Like it can't be as wide reaching as a Halo.
I mean, it really does all come down to Starfield and this showcase. It continues to come down. It's been that even regardless of Redfall.
Yeah.
Right.
But Redfall, like you said, I think a lot more confidence was sort of like injected into Redfall in a way that
its shoulders had a burden a lot.
Totally, and in a way that like you for the longest time were always feeling this like acquisition hungry company finally maybe going to have like a big W under their belt.
A big W for because like they put out Deathloop and that was pretty good, but that was for another system.
That was for everyone. So, it came out on
PlayStation. It was a PlayStation exclusive,
which is just like the luck there.
Right. Like the timing really worked against them on a lot of this
100%.
stuff. I mean, Ghostwire Tokyo did not pan out really the way anyone wanted to, but
I'd rather play that than Redfall, I think.
Right.
Will Starfield be on PS5 or is it
No.
exclusive? So it is straight up like so. Elder Scrolls and Starfield are they both like they will not be on other systems?
They are definitely exclusive. Yes.
Wow,
so
okay,
what
that's
happened?
huge.
They did the math. This is something that like was a point of contention, but they never said that those things wouldn't be exclusive for like the acquisition, the new one with Activision. But they did the math, and when they looked at it, they said that while we will make less money from not having these games on PlayStation, the amount of money that we get from sort of using these as promotional materials for Game Pass, saying, hey, it's exclusive to wherever Game Pass is
That's
worth
the
it.
juice.
That's huge.
It balances out. And I think they're probably right, especially if Starfield is anywhere near a success of a Fallout, let alone a Skyrim, a 25 million seller that continues to be one of the top played games on Steam.
That's kind of crazy to think about, like saying that Skyrim is 25. Is that across everything?
Yes, but it's probably like
All those different versions and everything?
It's
25?
honestly, it's probably higher than that now, but it was like 25 million a couple years ago.
I know it goes back to what we were talking about with Nintendo, but like I think of Skyrim and I think of like one of the juggernauts.
25
of
anything
modern,
over 25 million is a juggernaut. To be fair,
like we were listing like
yes.
a bunch of Switch stuff that was like that's
very,
crazy.
Nothing is 50 million. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and
right.
nothing is Animal Crossing 42 million during the pandemic. Listen, you're right. Nintendo is in a league of its own, but I don't want to get in a world where we are ascribing like 25 million as something. 25 million is
no, that's the thing.
huge.
When I think of Skyrim, I think of like one of the biggest success stories.
And you're right.
Of, like
you're
the
right
last
to
15 fucking years.
You're
of
right
video
to.
games,
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
What about like a GTA? Where's a GTA at?
That's like 80, 90, over 100 million or something like that.
Okay, so that's
I don't know.
There, up
See,
there.
like the horizon.
I just saw the number.
What is it? Yeah, can you say what? It's like 120 million now or something.
175.
175?
What about like Red Dead 2? What about Red Dead 2?
That's
that
like
game's
50
so
million.
boring. Why would anyone play that?
That's like 50 million or something now, I think. Yeah.
Okay, what a failure.
Give it time.
I'm
When it
kidding.
comes to PC, it already came to PC, but give it time and you'll come around on it, just like you did Death Stranding.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Well, you don't like it either.
It's a bad game.
I hate it.
it's a bad game.
It's a game
Am I
that's
the only one that likes Red Dead?
Red Dead Redemption 2 is a game that's ashamed to be in a video game, and that makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that.
I feel like we
It's
need
not
to
fun to
talk.
play.
I'm not saying we have to do this now.
We
but-
can't do it now.
No.
No, of course
No.
not. We're running out of time. But like, I feel like at some point we have to just talk about.
Sure,
this.
I'll talk about it
Yeah,
whenever you
it's
want.
Like I'm not a freak who will defend that game and die on a hill for it, but like I
hard to play.
I enjoy being in that
Yeah,
world.
I don't
is what
enjoy
do.
it.
It's not good to
Okay.
be.
The thing is, I
playing
love Cowboys too.
that. I love
a
Westerns.
I consider
oh, yeah, totally.
Westerns
I'm-
kick ass. I
yeah.
love Rockstar games. I love GTA. Red Dead 1 was my favorite game of that fucking generation.
Can I just say that
It
you
just didn't care that I was trying to play it. It had no
Exactly.
interest
It wants
in me
to be
at
a
all.
fucking prestige
You're the
art
only-
film or something, and not
I feel like you're the only three people I know
And
who
you've
are like.
assembled us.
Yeah, I feel like I
Yeah.
don't.
Get him! We're in your house. This is our house.
Is this an intervention? Is this an
My name's on the
intervention?
dude now.
Oh my god! Is this
Come in.
is my identity taken?
Yeah, come in.
The deed.
You're the Red Dead 2 guy.
That's it for the news. I'm handing this show back over to Jan. Thanks for your guys' time. I appreciate that.
Fantastic. I just really love Cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Ennio Morricone soundtracks. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spaghetti westerns.
I'll watch a
Hangman.
Kevin Costner Western. I don't give a fuck.
Okay, all right, we wouldn't go that far right
I'm
now.
going to go that far.
Hangman Adam Page is a
Of
cool
course,
cowboy.
Of course, yes.
The first season of Westworld was good. The first season.
Yeah.
Everything else afterwards. But we're going to take a quick break and talk about, Spindrift.
Oh,
Just our
I'm going to chug some water.
just chug some water. We're going to hydrate or dehydrate, perhaps throw some liquid 4 into our own drinks and everything.
oh baby.
And then we'll read some emails and read some shout outs.
All right.
Right after this. Emails. Emails. Give me the emails so I can read them. Dan, you have the
Yeah.
first email.
Yeah, email I just got while I was in the bathroom. It says, "Hi there, congratulations. You've officially completed your first day at Red Ventures. Insert Super Mario level up sound here." And I've got my one-stop shop for all our
I think you should
RV-related
resign.
questions. Oh man, I got my onboarding hub. Man, I can't wait to work for Red Ventures.
Do they just have like AI write that email?
Yeah.
Don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. Should I be worried about this? Are they
like I
stealing
said,
me?
it could not happen to a more paranoid person.
Why am I getting this?
I don't know.
Kidnapping you.
It just goes to show you like how automated and fucking vulnerable to mistake that stuff probably is.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't hear anything. If you're no longer with the company, like it's been fun.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Marty, welcome aboard.
Shit.
I don't. Yeah, don't worry about it. Well, it seems fine. Seems okay.
There we go.
Everything seems fine.
All right. First email comes from KB from Illinois. Hey, hiya, duders. On a previous episode, you talked about how there isn't many Horizon people. Even though I like the games, I also find it odd Sony is trying to push it so hard. I am a business consultant in my mid-30s. In an awkward silence during a meeting today, I asked what everyone did over the weekend. One of the directors said they took their kids to see the Mario movie and talked about how nostalgic it was. When he asked if anyone else had seen it, my boss replied with, "No, I'm a Horizon guy."
Dude, that's amazing. I wish I could see that as a sketch, right?
Me too.
My boss is married and in his late 30s. He's typically swamped at work and complains that he rarely gets away from work. I just finished up my third playthrough on the hardest difficulty, so I wouldn't have to finish up the
like a
Platinum
comic.
Trophy before the DLC. I would have never guessed he had played a game in the last decade, let alone bragging about his Platinum Trophy. So I guess there are Horizon people out there. I would have never guessed it would be my boss. P.S. I asked what else he had played, and he said his recent favorites were Stray and Untitled Goose Game.
Okay, so he
Weird, 'cause
redeemed himself.
I was about to say that, like, I think there is a certain type of gamer that like takes graphics above all else. And, like,
Yeah.
wow, look how this looks. But like, it's an Untitled Goose Game. That's not like a.
Yeah, but Untitled Goose Game was very much
very
the flavor du
mainstream.
jour.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I think it overflowed into like a mainstream.
It
sort of
definitely,
version.
yes. I mean, was it like Beyonce playing it or something? Like, yeah.
Sure, that sounds right. I think I think I know what you were also going to say, where it's like I do know some of like Horizon people who like. I'm like, yeah, you would like that, but not.
I don't know. I don't know
again,
who you're referring to.
I'm not pointing at you. I'm just saying, like friends of mine, like
okay.
my Call of Duty idiots.
The way I think about it is like, for instance, we got a code a month ago or whatever for the new DLC. Where it's like, oh, it's the Burning Shores or whatever, and we only cover stuff that we're interested in. So I got the code and I asked the Slack like, hey, who's interested in Horizon? Who wants this code? And it was like, remember when Homer asked if anyone had seen Tron, and it just goes from person, nope. It was none of us give a shit shit. It's
They're selling well.
Yeah, and that game's
yeah, sure.
It's fine. Like it's
Yeah, it's
again,
fine.
I think it's become more of like a punchline now.
Definitely for us. I think you're right. There's a group of gamers out there that are definitely not let's say casual, but they're like they get into games for like the technology side of it, to be oohed and awed.
Yeah, they're like, I got this new TV and it looks really cool.
Yes,
Like,
and that's a game that's going to look wow on a new TV.
Yeah.
So
I will say this: seeing the original what. Using a fork on a can of seltzer.
The tab didn't do it enough.
I will say I can't recall you dumb.
The shock in your voice was weird.
I don't think I had a game like really make an unbelievable first impression on me like that original Horizon did. I remember there were like these closed door meetings with Gorilla, and they showed that thing.
At E3
and it
was
fucking blew me the fuck away, and I was just like, wow.
But I mean, like Herman Holst was in a lot of those meetings, and he was like pretty cool about it. He was like a cool guy to talk to about it. And stuff.
I was buying whatever they were selling. They showed like a takedown of like one of the Tyrannosaurus looking ones, and it was like, holy shit! I was like, what am I looking at? And then everything else happened. But look, that first game's fine. Aside from the,
I do find them to be boring. But I know there's a lot of people who don't.
I think
it happens.
I think there's a mainstream that we are not clued into.
I mean,
1,000%.
Right. It always reminds me of like being surprised listening to Wait, Don't Tell Me on NPR, and the host started talking about how much he likes The Last of Us, and he's like, man, I wish there were any other game like that, and people would recommend him stuff, and he's like, nothing's like that. I kind of only like The Last of Us, and I think there's probably a similar flavor of people who are like showing up to Horizon like that.
I can't wait for 5 years, all of us to get super duper into Horizon like we did with Fortnite.
We have a Horizon podcast.
Yeah.
And be like, why didn't anyone tell us it was good?
Yeah.
Abby's
It's not for
somewhere
lack
just
of
like
trying.
screaming.
Sure, no, I played it.
I played like 25, 30 hours the first one.
Yeah, I finished
4
the first
hours
one.
the next one.
I finished the first one. I think if there's a way that I think the onboarding for the second one was so rinse and repeat, and it turned me off so fast.
Same.
There's probably like a right way to do it that scratches all the itches that I
think games like that have to serve so many masters of being so broadly appealing because they are so expensive to make that I find that's the stuff that because I spent the beginning of this episode talking about Shadows of Doubt, a game that feels like it was made for me.
Yeah,
there are games out there that feel like they're made for me. I really am not going to gravitate to anything that feels like it was made for everybody.
Totally,
today it's just not going to happen.
I mean. Yeah,
it's the hipster.
I don't think you play as much, as me, but like Fortnite, like there was a period where you were like,
no, I can enjoy good games regardless, but it's like if I get that sense that that's just like this thing does feel like it's just trying to be pleasant,
just every edge sanded down.
And honestly, I do think Horizon is a game that has most of its edges sanded down, and anywhere where an edge remains, they have Aloy there telling you how to get around the edge.
I don't think there's anything it excels at beyond technical stuff. The rest is serviceable.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day who I was eyeballing at like a decade older than me, talking about how much they loved Fortnite. Like, no build's the best. I'm like,
they're right.
I'm like, okay. I can't really speak to too much beyond that, but that's amazing. And
the Attack on Titan gear, it's great.
I love zipping
around.
That's what I hear. Anyway,
very good.
All right. Okay, next email comes from Jeff from Connecticut. Hey, Bob-Ombs. I'm turning 40 this coming Tuesday, May 9th.
Nice.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday today. Happy birthday.
And was hoping for a simple shout-out. Well, there you go. I followed Bakalar's journey to his 40th last year, and it helped ease the sting a bit, as I'm also a Jeff from the East Coast with similar musical leanings and general frustrations.
Okay.
If I have time to ask a question as well, then what is a positive change you've consciously made in your adult life? Mine has been to be more brave, so I went out and got my first tattoos, Final Fantasy VII, Xenogears, and Cowboy Bebop, and took my first trip out west and visited San Francisco to play music and soak up Jan's lovely city. Text me when you get home. Love ya. Jeff from Connecticut.
I love that.
Sent from my codec. Snake.
I think, I think I had turning 40, I had a very unhealthy relationship with the number 40. And I think it's silly that I behave that way. I think a lot of the stuff that I would tell myself if I could go back is sort of just like, just fucking enjoy yourself now. Like, live in the moment. and be very present.
Yeah, it's hard though.
It's hard.
Yeah, you
I
can't
mean,
just
it's
say
hard,
that, really.
of course. And like that's basically what you learn in therapy, or at least what you talk about in therapy. But yeah, like doing that is very hard. It's a lot easier said than done. And like continue to do what makes you happy, for sure. Unless it is actively damaging you, which you don't always know. But hopefully someone in your life is loving enough to tell you if it is. And yeah, I think that's really the basics. That's the basics I have. I think turning 40, I would get discouraged playing hockey with people who are literally twice my age asking me what college I go to. And while that's funny, it's also a bit depressing, and that's fine. But yeah, it's all, I think the biggest takeaway is just being able to live in the moment.
Yeah, I think big positive change was when I recognized that things I couldn't control, I needed to stop worrying about them. And it was definitely during the last 8 political years where I was like, you know what? Political news is, I've not been able to do almost anything about it ever, so I need to cut it out. And now I've gotten to a point where I've mostly trained myself so I can read a news story, and not, as long as I'm not engaging with it on Twitter, I am usually able to be like, okay, this is it's knowledge I now have. I can't do anything about it, but I'm glad that I was enriched by this knowledge. It is time to move on with my day and go engage in something that I can't control. It helps to have kids with that stuff because it's like, well, I can go help a human being right now with something and help them learn something. So that becomes a very easy, like, okay, I can go spend time with them. But even before like that was an option, I was beginning to like drift away from that stuff. And that was very helpful to my mental state. I'm much happier now than when I was engaged with that stuff constantly.
Yeah.
It's tough.
No, you're not 40.
Oh, 40. Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
As far as just going back in time, it's tough because like I feel like one of the things I've really worked hard on the last few years is like you said, like backing away from social media and not getting consumed by it, and setting limits and stuff like that. But I feel like if I went back to myself when like my career was starting and stuff, I don't know if that advice plays really, because it's like without that, I don't befriend Alex, Jeff, and Ryan. I don't wind up here. I don't move. I don't move. So it's like a lot of things happen because of it. But I feel like I should have started weaning away from it earlier, I guess, because I don't think it's good
I think it's important to recognize that you can turn it into a work. Like you've got to like just play a character on social media, which is where I'm at, where like the person I am on social media is just shooting off goofs nonstop. Sure. And that is not the real me at all.
You never shoot goofs.
Don't shoot the goofs. And so it's like, it's easier for me to disassociate from that stuff very quickly in a way that I would have struggled when it was like, no, I actually am just, this is my entertainment and I'm spending time on here. It's like, you need to make it work for you, and that's true. It really will help. I'm absolutely the same way. I would not have this job if it was not for being on social media, and so that's why I'm not someone who's like, oh, I'm quitting social media. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But I'm at a place where I don't need to, because I'm much happier because I found a way to make it work for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the easy one is, and I'm sure anyone can relate, is like go back in time to when you're 20, 25 or whatever, and like instilling and learning healthy habits in terms of like not just mental stuff, but like physical stuff. Like as I'm approaching 40 and like just feeling like all the stuff start to kind of break down a little bit, it's just like, man, I just wish I would have learned some stuff about like eating right, or like actually just like base level maintenance stuff. Yeah. When you're 20 and your body can fucking like work change quickly to it, rather than now it's like fucking turning an aircraft carrier around. It's that would have been helpful.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go outside, touch grass. It's not a goof.
Walk. Just walk more and drink more water. There you go. That's
hydrate or dehydrate. Yeah, I think in general, I was gonna say like I think I really bought into like hustle culture, work all the time, like in my early 20s, and I feel like some of that kind of bit me in the butt in terms of like, oh well, I don't keep in touch with everyone anymore. But then with that same tip, it's kind of like, well, if I didn't do all that, I wouldn't be here now. So it's like finding a through line there of like taking care of yourself as well.
Yeah.
Like,
It's very easy in your 20s, I think, to fall into that.
Yeah.
I mean,
because it's like,
what choice do you have under the system we live under? Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I also think you are in a physical situation in your life where you have a ton of energy and you're just sort of like,
Yes.
You're made to be exploited. Like that's what I thought. That's how I felt my 20s. Like, yep.
Yeah.
But I feel like some people, like, if you enjoy it, like, I'm not anti, like, hustle culture. I don't know what the hustle culture is, but, like, I like doing a million things at once.
Yes.
I like having a million projects at once.
you like doing
That's the thing. I'm enjoying it, and I also take time for the things that are important, mental health and relationships and all that stuff. But I fucking love doing a ton of shit.
I
you
wouldn't
know?
say that's hustle culture. I
Is
feel
it
like
not?
that's
Is
like
that
you
different?
really just that's just life.
And that's good work
Sure.
ethic. It's different than
What's
You're
the,
just
so what is like
lifing.
when you say like hustle culture?
It's like, putting your nose to the grindstone, like doing a million hours of OT.
always
like,
saying yes to everything.
yeah.
Oh no, you have
Picking-
to say no to stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
So hustle culture is always saying yes to everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
okay.
putting work in front of like your health, basically.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And I
No,
definitely in the
yeah.
20s, definitely. I mean, that's again though. You're right. Like if I hadn't done that, I know the people that were right next to me at the same time that didn't say yes to everything and kept going. And it's like that's completely unfair because they were also hard workers.
Yeah.
And just like I would be the person that would be easy to talk to because I would always say yes. And it's detrimental. It's tough to balance out. So it's like. Don't treat that as like that was not a point of pride. It was a learning experience of like how can I make sure that the people I send the ladder down to behind me that I recognize that they're trying to respect their own time and I don't force them to have to say yes to everything.
Yes.
So I think learn from your own experience is like the big thing there.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be your best friend.
Like that should be number one above any kind of work or hustle or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
health. Yeah.
Also, school may not be for everyone, folks. If you feel like you're
Yeah.
putting your nose to the grindstone in a university, maybe you don't have
I
to.
really wish I would have learned to become an electrician instead of
or
like,
just half acid and get the degree.
Yeah. Like,
Quarter acid.
but if you were into anything
costs
like
money.
1/10 acid.
Yeah.
like media production wise, like you can learn all of it online now.
Yep.
You know,
YouTube.
YouTube, University of YouTube. I've actually started to model my life after the Sage the Gemini song Gas Pedal. I just want to read a couple lyrics.
Please.
Where, slow down, grab the wall, wiggle like you trying to make your ass fall off.
Sure.
Hella thick, I want to smash them all now. Speed up, gas pedal. Okay.
Goddamn right.
Was it Dylan originally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it was the Book of Matthew. I
Grab
think
a wall.
actually. Yeah.
Shake your ass.
Jeff Grubb wrote in the document, Happy Piccolo Day.
Yes. Happy Piccolo Day, everybody.
Why is it Piccolo Day?
Because
What
May
is
9th
it?
shall forever be remembered as Piccolo Day.
Why?
I think because Piccolo did some dope shit on May 9th.
blew up the
He
moon
always
in the
does.
anime.
He blew up the
dope
moon.
shit. Yeah.
That's probably what it was.
Okay.
All right. Last email comes from Grub. You in the email document?
Yeah.
Can you read that name at the very bottom?
Okay. Let's see here. Not Blake from. Oh, this one right. Okay. Yes, Sageth from Perth, Australia.
Sageth. There we go.
Say it as fast as you can. Sageth.
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 Hi, Bombers. First time, long time. Been here since On the Spot days. I'm breaking my silence as I listen to the Comic Sans slander on episode 787.
Sure.
Comic Sans is a well-designed font
Yes.
with as much care and attention put into it as the well-designed serif that self-proclaimed font pervert Jerv creams himself over.
I mean, look, that's a great sentence. Number one. Number two, Comic Sans is like the crayon of fonts.
And crayons rule.
Sure,
Can I say crayons? Is that better?
Cranes?
I said crayons. I grew up saying crayons.
Crayons?
I grew up saying crowns, and I got corrected to crowns.
crowns.
I said crowns until I was like 15.
crowns is just not. That's just
Yeah.
a different word. I mean,
No, I fixed it.
yeah, good.
Crayons.
That's fine.
I understand the hate to an extent. It's definitely misused, overused, but I liked the look of it. And as someone trying to convey this is totally chill in a soul-sucking corporate environment using the fonts they have available, even though it ends up having the opposite effect. So it's not Comic Sans' fault. It's the people.
It's the uses of it. Yeah, the way it's used. Yeah.
I look forward to the day I can use Comic Sans on a project. I'm a graphic designer. I humbly request that some respect be placed on Comic Sans' name and a big FU to the jackass designer who tried to improve it with Comic Sans 2.
They made a sequel?
Yes.
Oh wait.
You can sequel a font?
Yeah. Why
You can
not?
sequel anything. The Beatles too.
Love y'all.
Can we be the Beatles too?
Yeah, we're the
Can
Beatles
we
too.
change our name to the Beatles too?
I think we already did.
I get to be the George.
George too.
Yeah, I'm George too. Yeah.
Love y'all. Kiss. Let's all just be Georges.
Yeah.
Okay.
there we
George
go.
2,
A
3,
band
4,
of
and
4
5.
George Harrisons would be fucked up.
Yeah.
So angry all the time.
The life swapping would be out of control.
Be very haggard.
Yeah.
Love y'all. Kiss on the cheek to everyone, respectfully, and a special Comic Sans flavored kiss on the cheek to Bakalar. Keep up the great work, Sageth from Perth, Australia.
Very sweet.
Thanks,
Thank you
Sajid.
for the email. I think I remember when Comic Sans first came on the scene. I was a young font boy in middle school, and I saw it.
We were so innocent.
We were just innocent men, just normal innocent men. And I used it in an essay because I discovered it, and I was like, this looks how I want to sound. I think this is cool. Fuck you, Times New Roman. There's a new boss in town, and I used it a lot. And then many decades later, it just got repurposed, and they are right? Like it's the use cases that has taken Comic Sans into like the nether realm, and
The font itself is not bad.
it's fine, but like it has become the sort of like scapegoat, like the email says, for like corporate, mandate.
If I got a very serious work email from a superior, like not even like from you, Bakalar, but from like someone like several levels above you, and it was like kind of bad news, and they wrote it in Comic Sans, I might kill them.
I'd be like, what an actual psycho.
Yeah, I might kill them actually.
What an actual psycho.
Let me check my Red Ventures onboarding. No, that's Times. Okay.
Yeah.
Times New Roman. That's pretty messed up too.
That is a pretty Comic Sans ass company. But like, yeah, I mean, you would take someone for a second. You'd be like, oh my god, this person could kill anyone.
Yep. I'd be scared. I'd be scared, and we have to do something.
This
to stop
serial
them.
killer will be activated, and that's it.
Yep.
All right, we're almost done with the show, so let's get to the shout-outs. Shout-outs are found on the growing Google Doc, and I regret
The ever-growing Google Doc.
I regret it every week. I should stop this. I have the power to stop this. But
do
special
it.
shout-outs to the Bakalar family.
Aw.
The Bakalar family's table. Jan for setting up the tech. Dan for watching Jan set up the tech. Jer for having enough mics and or Jan bringing more mics. Pinball machines. Brave men and women in great clips.
That's really good.
Basking in silence together, the chandelier, my aunt who beat lung cancer, Parker Posey, my cat Misha, Too Dark Stream last night, Mom's everywhere, Mommy's everywhere, Dommy's everywhere. It's Mother's Day on Sunday, by the way. Anime, Sbar Pizza, New York City's best pizza, The Furries, Marty, the bestest boy, Dogs at the head of the table, Walking on Two Legs, David Hasselhoff, People Should Play Fuga, Melodies of Steel. Don't keep adding to this. Wikifeet.com, the Dell keyboard everyone owns, but nobody knows why or where it came from. Diamond Dogs, Bound Up, Aru.
That's the last one.
Dope Fades, Having Hair, Being Bald, Rubbin Z. Okay, come on now. David Hasselhoff again. This is that was 31.
Boo the Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, fuck the Blackhawks.
Dal Key Late K. Big beautiful bagels, Jan. The Edmonton Oilers, they need it. Cookies and cream ice cream sandwiches. Dan's bladder. Remember to forget your cancel your Fortnite cruise sub. Okay, I do.
Shout out to the Dragon Bladder, by the way.
Some fucking papaya. Tommy Oof.wave Tellerico. Jan's colored cable management. Grubs Milky Thighs. E. Jean Carroll Podcast Pups. Pregnant Zelda. Red Dead Intervention. JPEG Mafia. Yeah, okay. I'm a stupid moron with an ugly face and a big butt, and my butt smells like I like to kiss my own butt. Comic Sans 2049, Pig Venus, Jan for reading all these shoutouts, Horizon Forbidden West. These jorts have cum stains on them.
Oh,
stop
Jesus.
it. And that has been the Giant Bombcast, everyone.
Woo! This was
Jeff,
great.
thanks for having us in your home, dog.
It's my pleasure. This has been fantastic. Thank
This is
you.
great.
Thank you for coming
This is
out
great.
here, guys.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm really glad we did this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Makes me want a big old cup of coffee in the big time.
Big time.
Oh, yeah.
Mean Gene.
Me and Gene needs a big old
steamboat.
cup of coffee.
Needs a big old cup of coffee in the morning.
Marty, send us out.
Good boy. Good boy.